Let's go live, y'all. First, we're going to listen to Boss Bitch by KASH MEHOUT, a.k.a. Queen's Throne. Let's get it.
J. Casperson.
I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. I keep these ratchet hoes mad cause I'm a boss bitch. Yup, I'm popping these tags cause I'm a boss bitch. Watch me toss a couple bands cause I'm a boss bitch. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. I keep these ratchet hoes mad cause I'm a boss bitch. Yup, I'm popping these tags cause I'm a boss bitch. Look, Cindy Louis Prada got me looking like a model. I get money all day from the winter to the summer. Now I'm chilling in the sauna with this nigga from Tijuana. He keeps bands in my pocket cause to him it's just a number. He talked me off about an hour, then I jumped up in the shower, matched out in the Impala. Chase for that guala, time for drama. I got nada, hating hoes, I do you proper. I just hired me a shotter that'll snipe you and your mans for nothing on the dollar. So watch your mouth or you get shot up. Got bands all day for product for the lower, for consignment, best prices that I find it. I've been sleeping on your girl, cash stay collecting dollars every hour on the hour. Please believe me, you can time it. Long way to the top, bet I climb it. Ain't got my money, you better find it. Cash stay representing for that boss bitch that only contemplates getting rich. Trick. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. I keep these ratchet hoes mad cause I'm a boss bitch. Yup, I'm popping these tags cause I'm a boss bitch. Watch me toss a couple bands cause I'm a boss bitch. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. I keep these ratchet hoes mad cause I'm a boss bitch. Yup, I'm popping these tags cause I'm a boss bitch. Yeah, I be that first lady, got your hoe trying to pay me and pick me up in her Mercedes, but I'm screaming out, fuck you, pay me. Looking broke, you and your mans. Y'all need a second chance. Matter of fact, spin them bands while I drop down and I do that dance. Twerk it to the left, now to the right. Got my booty shorts on and they fit me right. Watch me work that pole, yeah, all night. Be your bottom bitch, nigga, shit, yeah, right. What you know about the finer things in life? Traveling overseas, trips to Belize. Next stop, Paris, during Fashion Week. Shorty really thinks she has more class than me, bitch, please. You gotta buy a vowel just to stand next to me. So step if you ain't talking about cheese. Matter of fact, my time's expensive, so you gotta pay for me. It's cash, yeah. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. I keep these ratchet hoes mad cause I'm a boss bitch. Yup, I'm popping these tags cause I'm a boss bitch. Watch me toss a couple bands cause I'm a boss bitch. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. I keep these ratchet hoes mad cause I'm a boss bitch. Yup, I'm popping these tags cause I'm a boss bitch.
What's good, y'all? What is good? We finna get into some things. Give me 1 second. I gotta drop another link right quick. All right. So, we are live on 3 channels. Hold on, let me cam up and all that shit. Hold on, give me a second. What's good? Okay, we in the building. We got some shit to look at, y'all, today, okay? Because I don't know if y'all know. Let's get to the basics first. First of all, right after my live stream was done, if you're watching this on Rabbit's Got the Gun TV, right after my live was done, they banned it for some motherfucking little copyright shit or whatever. But they didn't end up copyright striking me or whatever, right? I believe it was the clip where they were talking about the blood that they put on their body and all that was really the issue, right? But then about 30 minutes later, okay, KASH got no makeup on today. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But then about 20, 30 minutes later, I get a notification that they also snatched it from one of the Queen's Thrones channel. And then 30 minutes after that, they snatched it from the other Queen's Thrones channel. So now I have to go through the whole live, find the part, you know, that they had an issue with, and take it out and re-upload it. So if you see it, I'm not wasting your time, but I thought that that live stream was a good live stream. You see what I'm saying? And I really wanted to be out there. You know what I'm saying? Now, that kind of, if you watched it yesterday, if you were here to watch it yesterday, you would have saw that the information man came up here. We had some people come up and talk, Tree Radio TV as well. And it was a good build. So I definitely want that back. Like, I'm offended than a motherfucker, okay? I'm mad as hell. Thank you guys so much. Yes, like and share the video. Thank you. No, I purposely didn't wear makeup because, you know, sometimes people just think that you ugly and that's why you wear makeup. But I only wear, like, lashes and some eyeliner maybe and some mascara. But all my products are vegan. So, you know, we ain't got no issues there. But, yeah, I just wanted to take a day off, let my face and all that rest. But I don't wear nothing, like, on my face. But, you know, just let your body breathe, you know? Yeah, I'm over here trying to read my own shit. But, y'all, we got a lot to look at because the information man came last night. And he was like, look, I got this thing that I worked on. I would call it a masterpiece in reality, okay? Because, like, when we was live last night and he brought it up, I looked at it a little bit. Not really looked at it, but scanned through it, right? Last night during the live. But after the live, I ended up watching it. And it was phenomenal. It was a great piece of work. So I felt obligated since I plan on using a great deal of his work today. In reality, I'm just going to push play. We're going to watch it again together. It was that good that Queen's Throne want to see it again. It's talking about how, you know, if you know Gabby, I forgot her last name, but has recently disappeared and allegedly she was found dead, her body. And then, so they looking for her boyfriend because her and her boyfriend was on like this cross-country tour little thing, just driving around, experiencing life as young, you know, people do or whatever. And then something went wrong along the way. Anyway, he did a video talking about how, you know, there's a lot of melanated people, black people, right, that are missing in America. Now, I've spoke on this before, but unfortunately, the channels that I spoke on it on are not here anymore because they hate me. They hate me, know that. So, today we'll be looking at that great piece of work, but last night I also brought up Markeith Loyd, and for some reason he must have been on my mind, but he happened to have court today, okay? So, we will be looking at that because they are actually trying to, you know, stall out his trial a little bit more. Let me get my life together behind the scenes, y'all, okay? I was going to play another song, but I didn't want it to be too lengthy or whatever. But, okay. So, before we get started today, really into the meat of it, I do feel obligated because I've covered this case thus far. So, I feel like I should continue in doing so. So, basically, Markeith Loyd motion to delay trial. Okay, these things do happen. And obviously due to COVID-19, this would affect his case. Now, let me give you a little rundown of this case. So the earlier case that we covered, full trial and everything, right? Let me be on screen right quick though. Hold up. The case that we covered earlier was because he got into an altercation that went bad with his baby mama, who was pregnant with his child, and also her brother. So he ended up killing them, okay? I'm just going to be real. And then he ran away, right? He was on the run. And then he was at Walmart. He saw a cop, right? He was, you know, wanted and all that. So he saw a cop. She made him like, oh, shit, that's Markeith Loyd. And he started busting and he killed her, okay? Now, this is not just, I think she was like a corporal or something. I don't even remember for real. It's going to come up in this video, though. So you'll get some information. But we covered the situation with the baby mama, the brother, and the unborn baby, right? But this situation is the trial for killing the cop, which his life, I believe, is on the line. I think he's facing a death sentence. He's already been sentenced in the other situation, and he ain't getting out, bro. But the reason why I like this character, right? And also, let me tell you, so when they finally caught him, right, after killing the cop and killing his baby mama, the unborn, and the brother, right, then they find him, right, because his family was holding him down. So they find him, they beat his ass, knock his eyeball out, and all that. We already looked at interrogation of that and everything. So this is what I'm saying, like, we're already at this point with this case that we need to continue it. Now, a benefit of doing so is that this man is crazy as hell, okay? But I think that something drove him, like something happened in his childhood or something like that, so I'm not making fun of that at all. But he's one of the type of people that in court you might have a great time watching it because he's going to probably act out. You know what I mean? He's going to, interrupt. He going to do all type of shit. Okay, so I did want to take, I think it's the first 25 minutes after me talking of this video so that we could take a look at that. Shout out to everybody in the room. Curtis, salute. I'm just going to run through them because I don't do this enough anymore. I used to do it all the time, but Onslaught, Raindrops. I like that. I like how you spelled that. No, you're probably in, I'm live on 3 channels, so I'm live on 2 of my Queen's Throne channels, Mr. Skinny TV, and I'm also live on Rabbit's Got the Gun TV. Yeah, there's people here, but one of my channels, I don't know, I'm trying to work it out, stretch it out like Tybo or some shit, you know what I mean, because it's acting kind of funny, so, yeah. And then I always keep 2 in the holster just in case, because you never know when you get flagged. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody that is in here. See, I'm live on this channel right here, this channel, and this channel. And if you have not subscribed to Rabbit's Got the Gun TV, make sure that you do, because every Saturday you will find my Saturday shows will be on this channel, okay? Or you can also go to Dr. Inky TV. You'll see me on there, and et cetera, et cetera. We're working on some things, exposing some information in the community. Of course, we vet information. So make sure that you're here regardless, 7 p.m. Eastern every Saturday. We're about to start a 40-day fast as well. The fast starts on the 18th. We will get done, I think it's Dr. Sebi's birthday when we complete it. So just make sure that, you know what I'm saying, if that's what you want, if you're trying to, be healthier or whatever, that you click in. All right, with no further ado, I'm about to screen share this. Okay. Now my phones want to die and shit. Okay. All right, so again, it's Markeith Loyd for the situation with the cop. Okay. It's quiet for a second. I don't know why they did it this long though.
And Marrero for Mr. Loyd.
All right, so this is Markeith Loyd right here. All right.
Who's present?
Right, good morning, everyone. We're here on a series of motions that have been filed. I have a pro se motion filed by Mr. Loyd requesting a Nelson hearing and a continuance of the trial. Mr. Loyd, you still requesting the Nelson hearing?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to fire your lawyers? Can you tell me why?
Well, I want to make a record that I haven't got those things done, what would need to be done, but I put on the motion.
I'm having trouble hearing you. You just want to make a record that things need to be done?
Yes.
But you don't actually want to fire your lawyers?
I don't want to start over.
Okay.
So
All
I
right,
want to
well.
get this done, but I need those things done that I put on the record, what I put on there for the reasons.
So in reality, you don't want a Nelson hearing. You just want to make a record.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Dolly, I don't think that Loyd is acting out because he wants to be looked at as criminally insane. I think at this point he really just doesn't care, because in reality he already has the other situations, you know what I mean, that he's already been sentenced for and all that. Like, in reality, he's coming back to this courthouse from Department of Corrections. So it's a wrap at this point. Even if he gets criminally insane in this case, it's not going to do nothing for the other case, because they're going to just claim that he was not criminal, you know what I mean, that he was straight during that time. That's what I think. I don't know, though.
That your lawyers haven't done the thing.
Just off of watching his mannerisms and all that, I think that in reality, like, if you remember during, like, look, hold up, because if you remember during the interrogation, right, he really, bro, he was not, you know what I mean, he wasn't like, I didn't do that shit or whatever, like, period. I don't know. I'm just saying, and he didn't really act mentally ill in his interrogation. To me, he acted like he was upset, visually fucked up, like they had just knocked his eye out and refused him medical care until the interrogation was over. Essentially, that's what I got from it, right? And that's why even when we look into this case again, like when this case comes back around full circle for this cop shit, we are going to need to pull back up with them receipts or whatever so we can refresh our memory, because especially with me, I'm not finna lie, obviously I'm human, I'm not perfect, but sometimes I've covered so many cases that I blend them together. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a good thing. So maybe even if I have to recap, but we do have a new, you know, crowd and stuff. Shout out to all those that are new to supporting me, as well as those that have been here for a while. But you know, we got to fill them in on the case as well, at least the case that we're about to cover, because as soon as this drops, I got another trial I'm looking at as well. So
things that you list in here, is that correct?
Yes, I want to get those things done. Whether I got to do that or not, I don't know. But I need to get those things done.
All right. Mr. Lindeman, do you wish to respond to the notice of things?
He's communicated what he wants us to do. He's moving for some time, and we're working on them, Judge.
Okay. All right. So I'll leave it at that.
yes, I believe this is Florida. Let me see if they have notes. No, hold on. Okay, yep, Orlando, Florida. Yes, I like this channel. Shout out to this channel also. Scales of Justice. I love this channel because they give you like a bird's eye view of in the courtroom oftentimes, but not every time. But I understand that. I definitely understand that they can't get access to every court or, you know, like travel everywhere, I guess. But there's been a lot of the trials and stuff that we've looked at have come from over here. So shout out to them also.
Next one I have is the state's motion to compel mental mitigating circumstances. State.
Nah, observing stuff. The one that he on, I think, is dead. Like, it's on life support right now. I don't know.
Mr. Watson and I have split up the motion, so whoever's addressing it will just stand up.
Okay, no worries.
It's pretty self-explanatory. The rule says 20 days from now, 4 days prior to the trial. So we would ask the court to enter an order requiring the mental health mitigators to be turned over by 5 o'clock.
All right, Mr. Lindeman, whoever's responding, just stand up. All right, go ahead.
Judge, I provided an email response to them, and essentially I said, look to the first trial, because you guys have super experience with the mitigation you presented. And at this point, I don't know if we're going to present anything else. Now, I think what the state's trying to draw out is whether we are going to rely on any of those 2 statutory mitigators that have to do with mental health. And to be honest with you, Judge, we're playing out in an insanity defense. I'm not sure.
Oh, shit. Did you just hear that? Dolly, you was right. Goddammit, we got to go back. Oh, hell nah. An insanity defense? Is that what he just said?
I'm not sure whether I'm going to use either one of those. And because I'm not sure, Judge, I believe if at some point I believe that there is evidence to support this, I think that the court would be remiss in precluding me from using those,
Did I miss it?
one or both of those, if that's the case. But at this point, I didn't use it last time. I wasn't planning on using it this time, but that may change.
I don't think an email that says, look to the last trial comports with the rule. I think you have to give them the list, a formal notice of what it is that you're doing. I mean, even if it is.
Did I miss it? Let's go. Hold on. We finna go back because I swear he just said that shit. So Dolly, hey, you get a cookie, girl. Shit, a roll, diamond for your crown or something. Shit.
Order requiring no mitigate
I ain't see this coming. I promise you.
health mitigators be turned over by 5 o'clock.
All right, Mr. Lenneman, whoever's responding, just stand up. All right, go ahead.
Judge, I provided an email response to them, and essentially I said, look to the first trial, because you guys have super experience with the mitigation we presented. And at this point, I don't know if we're going to present anything else. Now, I think what the state's trying to draw out is whether we are going to rely on any of those 2 statutory mitigators that have to do with mental health. And to be honest with you, Judge, we're playing out in an insanity defense. I'm not
What? Oh, wow.
sure whether I'm going to use either one of those. And because I'm not sure, Judge, I believe if at some point I believe that there is evidence to support this, I think that
Now, honestly, I don't know how that would go because the other charges, though. I would have to look into that because, I mean, not the other charges, the other shit that he's been found guilty of already. He's serving prison time for, which is, I forgot the exact amount. I'm going to look it up in a second, but I'm just saying. So, I don't know. I don't know how this will work. I really don't. I don't know if one would trump the other. I'm finna try to find out.
the court would be remiss in precluding me from using those, one or both of those, if that's the case. But at this point, I didn't use it last time. I wasn't planning on using it this time, but that may change.
I don't think an email that says, look to the last trial comports with the rule. I think you have to give them the list, a formal notice of what it is that you're doing. I mean, even if it is just listing the witnesses from the last trial and what you're relying on. So I just don't think your email comports with the rule. Now, as to not knowing whether or not you're going to use mental health, statutory mental health mitigators, that's what you're saying, that you don't know whether you're going to ask for the statutory mental health mitigators? And when do you think you're going to know that?
Probably during the trial. I mean, Dr. Toomer's going to testify. I have not taken Dr. Gamache's deposition yet. I have not taken Dr. Werner's deposition yet. And so, you know, I'm at a loss of where I'm going with that, Judge.
Response state, just to the issue of the 2 statutory mental health mitigators.
There's a possibility they'll use it. They have to disclose it. It's not a notice for the jury, it's a notice for us, so we can prepare. We have been told within the last couple of weeks in the same email that some of the experts have done additional work.
Bro, but you got to think about it like he killed a cop, fam. Period, point blank. So, I think that the prosecutors are going to fight their ass off. Now, I'm still behind the scenes looking for an answer, whatever. I may not find it in this little section or whatever, but I'm just saying, you got to look at everything on there. He killed a cop as well. Plus, the situation with the baby mama, the unborn child, and the baby mama's brother. So it's not like they're not finna use all that or whatever. Like they finna slam his ass, bro. I don't think no insanity plea is gonna work.
We don't have reports from those experts, so we have to redepose them with no idea.
Maybe if he would have continued to act bad, like if y'all been following his case, like he was acting horrible in court, like he would have outbursts and all that. We showed all that, right? But he didn't though. Like he's been acting kind of better. he interrupted a couple of times, or, you know, his body language wasn't right or whatever. And you could like see that the judge was like, what the fuck? Like, just kind of off of his behavior, but no real outburst. But normally, I don't know if y'all can see, but on the side over here, the right side, you know, he's got deputies standing there, but they normally come deep as hell for Markeith Loyd because he acts a fucking fool. So all that involved too.
What we're looking for. The rule is very clear. The law is very clear that these rules apply to both parties. And because
but he may get like a mitigating circumstance, which would mean that if he went through something in his earlier life, sorry for interrupting again, but I want to explain this. A mitigating circumstance means that if you went through a change of events like earlier in your life or some trauma later on in life or at any point or something like that, basically you can get a grace on your sentence a little bit, like time removed, you know what I mean? Because they go off of a sentencing guideline, right? So you don't automatically get, you know what I'm saying, a certain amount until they look at your pre-sentence investigation, that PSI, right? That go where they'll interview the person. They may reach out to family members. They're going to do a background check, look up all type of shit and all that. They're going to ask you, do you got a problem gambling? Are you addicted to drugs? All this shit, right? And then they put it in a report. And then basically, you know, that department deals with what their recommendation is. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't see that, like, these prosecutors are going to let this ride. Like, somebody that was a cop died over this situation because this man was running from killing them other people. And even his unborn child. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't his baby. It was his baby.
we're not sure, if that were the case, then any defense attorney could stand up and say, I don't know. They have listed 6 mental health experts. 6. And asking me to go in and divine Mr. Linneman's intent from a closing argument in an entirely different case is completely inappropriate. We are now 4 days from the trial. And I do not understand why this simple task that is required by the law has not been taken care of. We would ask them to comply by 5 p.m. tomorrow.
He could be, yes. Because obviously he would have had some type of psych evaluation. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I don't know though.
Not just with a list of experts, but with...
But he could be too. And they also use other things to keep you kind of calm, like so he won't run out of the courtroom. Like they'll have a belt around them. So basically if they try to get up and run or whatever, they can shock them. You know what I'm saying? But it's up under the clothes because 9 times out of 10, they don't, you know, want that to be visible and shit. Or they'll have like an ankle bracelet on as well. As I'm sure he has shackles on. He's fully handcuffed in the front. But, you know, the shackles are there so that if you get out of line, they can essentially just pull that chain and you're going to fall right on your face. So, you know, there's a lot of ways to deal with it. But I've seen them like restrained in court before and all type of shit.
What the rule requires, which is a list of particulars as to the mental health mitigation.
This is in Orlando, Florida.
Statutory or non.
Mr. Lynn, I'm afraid I side with the state on this. The rule's pretty clear. Case law's pretty clear. You're going to need by 5 o'clock tomorrow to produce a list of each expert, the particulars as to each expert, and if there is a possibility that you may claim the statutory mitigators, you're going to need to list those also. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you are not claiming the statutory mitigators. You can always change your mind and say, I'm not using those. But the point of this is for the state to be prepared. So you have until 5 tomorrow. You need to file a list, formal notification, experts.
Shout out to those that are just coming in. So basically, I'm going to give you a rundown on what's going on now. We're looking at Markeith Loyd, right? It's a case that I covered. Basically, essentially, quick rundown is he killed his baby mother and she was pregnant with his child. He killed both of them and her brother or whatever. I think that he was just wounded. I don't remember, see, because it's been a minute. It's been like a year and a half really since that trial went on or whatever. So sometimes I get cases confused, but you know, he attempted to take the life of, I could have sworn it was 3 murders though. You know, technically the unborn child, the baby mother, and the brother of the baby mother. But and then while he was on the run, he shot a female officer that kind of made him in public. Like, she identified that he was Markeith Loyd and was going to go in to apprehend him, where he just started busting at her and killed her. So this is the trial for that. But previously we covered the unborn child or whatever. I apologize that my memory is kind of foggy again, but.
And particulars and each mitigator, including the statutory, unless you are telling me now that you are not going to use the statutory. If at any point during the trial, you can say, Judge, I'm withdrawing the statutory mitigators.
So here's my position, Judge. I believe, as his attorney, although I may be wrong, that to put one or both of those statutory mitigators in play would compromise my client's ability to adequately prevail both in first and second phase. And so I am making a strategic decision at this point. As I said, although my position may change, I am making a strategic decision at this point that I'm not going to use either one of those.
All right, then file your list. But Mr. Lemon, I'm telling you right now, you can file those statutory mitigators without it compromising you, because you can withdraw them at any time. And I'm not ruling on something that hasn't happened, but I'm telling you right now, there is nothing that prevents you from filing the statutory mitigators, the doctors who would testify to that, and the particulars, knowing that this is just for the state to prepare and you can withdraw it. And we're done with this motion. That is my ruling. You have until 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Can I add
Mr. Lenneman, I'm not going back and forth with you. We've talked about this before.
Judge, my decision at this point not to use those is that I have a good faith belief that Dr. Gamache and Dr. Werner will actually change their testimony based on them being told, and that's the only reason that the state wants to bring it forth, so they can craft their testimony to that specifically. And that,
Mr. Lennon, is something that can be covered separately if it occurs. All right, motion to change venue and state's response on that. I've read the motion to change venue. I don't actually need any further argument on this unless someone wants to supplement the motion or the response.
I don't have any.
All right, I want to let you guys know Markeith Loyd was sentenced to life in prison without parole for shooting and killing his pregnant ex-girlfriend, Miss Dixon, after a jury opted against recommending the death penalty because they already know that the death penalty is coming for the cop. The 12-member jury deliberated for about an hour on whether he should be executed. So, but he also shot the brother or whatever. I'm still looking for a recap for that.
Anything further to add to that, Your Honor?
All right. The motion to change venue is actually legally insufficient, but aside from that, the law is very clear, which is that we have to attempt to seat a jury in this case before the court even considers changing venue. We were able to seat a jury in the first case. We're going to attempt to seat a jury in this case. If it becomes apparent to the court that we can't seat one, then we'll discuss changing venue. At this time, the motion to change venue is denied, pending jury selection and anything that might occur during that time.
Good.
All right, I have a motion for separate juries for each phase of the trial.
That's my motion, Judge. I don't have any additional argument.
State, you have anything in addition to your response? No, Your Honor. All right, motion to for separate juries for each phase of the trial. This is well settled law in the state of Florida. The motion is denied. I have the defense motion to exclude any reference to Deputy Norm Lewis's accident. I think we've already addressed this, and this was granted. The state indicated they didn't have any intent to do it. All right, the defense amended motion to test blood evidence from the Dixon crime scene. This was reset from the prior hearing. Who's arguing? Mr. Marrero.
Yes, Judge. So you may recall Mr. Loyd was representing himself at the time when the motion was originally filed and gave you a lot of the rationale behind why he wanted this done. And then after some further research into the case, we've located a 911 call, and I put that information in the amended motion where it appears to be objective evidence that demonstrates that the bodies were in fact moved, which supports Mr. Loyd's original position. And then further, we identified 2 samples that were labeled by FDLE at the scene.
Okay, no, he wasn't. He did. The wounds were not fatal. I do remember that he testified in court as I read this damn article and shit. But yeah, the brother testified in court. Man, it's crazy. I think that was like 2 years ago.
That appear to be blood samples that we would like to be tested. There's 2 of them. And as far as we know, the only thing that we were required to do would be for FDLE to take the samples that they have and simply test them for type. And then we can figure out the rest from there.
I don't think so either. I don't think a change of counties or any of that is going to matter in this situation, period. Well, maybe if it was the other one, the other case that we had reviewed, but not in this case.
So that's what I wanted to add, more detail about the samples, the specific samples, and more rational.
And I also don't think he's really going to get any mitigating circumstances when it comes to this. Essentially, I think they finna slam him. They ain't trying to hear none of that shit.
Now for why he's asking for them.
Okay, I'm still stuck at what I was stuck at last time, which is, to what are you going to compare these samples? Ms. Dixon's blood type, I was informed by both sides, is not available to anyone. She wasn't typed during the autopsy. There's no record of what her blood type is. So let's say I grant your motion, you go out and you test the 2 and they come back B positive. I don't know what anybody's blood type is. What are you going to do with that?
Well, the point is where were the bodies first laying and then were they moved? And that is integral to Mr. Loyd's defense, in as much as his belief that the bodies were moved sets up a different factual scenario for how the facts developed at the Dixon crime scene.
Well, Miss Dixon's body was moved. I mean, everyone agrees on that.
Well, why would that matter in this case? Yeah, unacceptable like a motherfucker. Why would that matter in this case, though? This is not the case for that.
Was moved.
He's already been tried, sentenced, all that.
From the porch to...
Before, the point is that it was moved. There appears to be evidence that it was moved before law enforcement show up. We know that they moved it when they got there. But the 911 call demonstrates that whoever it was that made that call was telling, in all likelihood, family members, because law enforcement had not yet responded, not to move the bodies. And she repeats that a number of times in the call. So Mr. Loyd's, the critical aspect of what happened on that scene and why it becomes important is what happens once the melee begins, once the struggle begins. Who's where and where did these people...
This case has nothing to do with that.
...actually get shot? In other words, is Ms. Dixon's brother's testimony accurate, or is it inaccurate, and has it been manipulated? And all of that bears on the story that was propagated to the press.
This is about the cop. Why is they bringing this up, and why does this man have a big ass hole in his shirt like that? But anyway, bro, why is they bringing this up?
And what they reported about what...
Unless they're trying to use that, like, that's how he became sane. Insane because he had killed these people and shit. I don't know how the fuck that would...
had happened at the scene.
Because I ain't watched this, y'all. I like to come in fresh and watch it with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
The whole basis of Mr. Loyd's defense has been that he believed that law enforcement were out to kill him. And the reason he believes this is because a false narrative was reported to the press. And being able to demonstrate that that narrative was false is critical to his establishing his state of mind at the scene.
No, it's not 2 women. So the baby mama, right? She died. the unborn baby died, and the brother, you know what I'm saying, he was shot. He was fucked up pretty bad. So, but he did testify in that trial. I forgot about him. Because, low key, the reason why I forgot about him, because the mother overshadowed the brother in reality. Like, she did a little bit too much. It was just a lot. It really was. That was a good live, though. That was a good, you know, series, I would say. But, yeah, so it's just the one woman, Sadie Dixon, and then the unborn child that he got the first degree murder for. That's already done with, though. And then he got, like, I don't know. But dude had testified in court or whatever on the events that happened. He was found guilty. He didn't get the death sentence because I think that they wanted to come through and give him the death sentence for this. You know what I mean? Like, you can't kill somebody twice.
Sergeant Clayton's death.
Hey, Nicole. Shout out to everybody in here. All right. So they're having, obviously, a sidebar. Don't want something to be public. Here we go again. What's good, Dice?
How are you going to, let's say you get all of that, all right? How are you going to establish that at the time of the shooting of Lieutenant Clayton, Mr. Loyd knew that the bodies had been moved, which would make the moving of the bodies relevant to his belief that the police were out to get him?
Well, he didn't know, he wouldn't have known that at the time.
Right.
He wouldn't have known that at the time, but law enforcement would have known it at the time. And that's the difference. They would have known that the bodies had been moved.
Okay, I'm having difficulty following this, so bear with me.
Yes, ma'am.
What?
The defense is that Mr. Loyd believes the police were out to get him,
Correct.
and that affected his actions at the shooting of Lieutenant Clayton. Am I
Yes.
right so far?
Yes.
Okay. And that the moving of the bodies in the Dixon case is proof that his belief, the moving of the bodies, which you concede he would not have known about at the shooting of Lieutenant Clayton, is still relevant to the shooting of Lieutenant Clayton. And you need to make that relevance tie for me, because that's where you're losing me. It's something he didn't know, so how is it relevant?
Well, what happened, Judge, is that he knew from what was being published in the press, what was being published in news reports all across Orlando, was that a false narrative was being propagated, one that's been demonstrated in many regards to be false. We know that Mr. Loyd in the Dixon case never did walk up to the front door and kick the door in, as was being said, and just open fire on a bunch of innocent people. We know that he had actually been there for quite a long time, having a perfectly civil conversation with Miss Dixon before the whole melee broke out. So his belief was based on what had come out in the press and what he was seeing in the press. And the only sense that he could make of why this narrative was being published.
Why in the fuck does that matter? He's already been sentenced for that, bro.
Was because
that's why I'm wondering, like, if he pleads insanity for this one and they be like, yeah, he's insane, like, what would that do to the other one? You know what I mean? I don't think nothing. Like, he would still have to serve his time for the other one, which is life. But obviously, his life is on the line, so he gonna fight for his life. Because what, they gonna give him 2 life sentences?
They were trying to set him up to have a valid excuse to gun him down whenever they found him. And that's what he was thinking in his mind. Whether he was right about that or not, the point is that that's exactly what he was thinking. And he had, at the very least, a sensible or a rational reason to believe that was what was happening. I mean, people
You're probably in the wrong chat.
might have differed, but that's what he believed at the time.
Hold on, stay there.
And now we find out, you know, during discovery that at the time that the,
hold on, here I come.
when law enforcement showed up, the bodies had already been moved. And then that supported apparently the families telling this narrative that the shooting had happened right there in front of the door, when that had not happened in that way.
Well, that was already litigated.
You got one now.
The jury found him guilty, because that was argued in the Dixon case. The jury found him guilty, and
Yes.
the appellate court affirmed that conviction. That case is over. Innocence is not.
Yeah, he shot the cop too, UW. Shout out to UW. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're good. But yeah, this is Markeith Loyd. You might remember, I think you were around at that time when we were covering the trial. But Markeith Loyd was previously convicted of first-degree murder for the killing of his baby mother and their unborn child. He also had attempted to take the life of his baby mama, his baby mama's brother. So then after that, he was on the run. He was at Walmart, and the cop, you know, that died, she had made him out, was like, that's Markeith Loyd. So then they had a shootout, basically, and his bullets hit her, and she died.
Not an issue in this case. Innocence in the Dixon case, let me be very clear, is not an issue in this case. That's done. Okay. State, I'm sorry, was that your entire argument, Mr.?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. State your response.
Going back to the specifics in the motion itself, the evidence that the defense has presented in the motion suggesting the body was moved is a 911 call, somebody speaking, saying, don't move her, don't move her. We don't know if they're trying to turn her over. We don't know what they're doing to her. But evidence that somebody's saying, don't move her, is not evidence that someone did in fact move the body someplace. That beside the point. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, that people on scene moved these bodies all over the place, all over the yard and the street, and then eventually put the two individuals on the porch where they were found and seen by Deputy Rachel Ward's body camera. We know their bodies were laying in those two locations because it's on video. Testing the two areas beneath their bodies where they clearly bled is going to serve no purpose. There's only the two places which are on the porch beneath where the bodies.
It looked like he getting, you know, because his voice is a little bit, it ain't loud, but he ain't whispering no more either. You know what I'm saying? I just swear I just heard his voice a second ago talking regular as hell.
There's only the two places.
See, you hear that? He says, I'm just playing, I don't know. Well, I'm just saying.
Two places which are on the porch beneath where the bodies were laying that Mr. Loyd is seeking to test. So how that'll establish the bodies were moved, I don't know. Secondarily,
see, he got the SRT motherfuckers there. These ain't just regular deputies and shit, bro.
what are you going to compare the information to, assuming that it is tested, which was the court's point? We don't have Ms. Dixon's blood type that I know of. Ronald Stewart's blood type may be in his medical records, I assume, because those have been provided in discovery. But even assuming all that is true, again, how is an allegation that non-law enforcement people moved the bodies somehow relevant to Mr. Loyd's state of mind at the time of Lieutenant Clayton's shooting, especially when he is not aware that these bodies...
How in the fuck does somebody move bodies to your state of mind? What the fuck?
...were moved at the time, or that law enforcement, the people who he thinks is out to get him, had any involvement in that process whatsoever.
You get the last word if you want it.
It's just, by process of exclusion, even if, and I'm not at all sure that the samples that FDLE has of Ms. Dixon's bloods cannot be actually tested for type. I know they could do a DNA test now on it, regardless of how long it's been. So I'm pretty sure that the blood type test could be done easily. But even if that were the case, her brother's still alive, and all he has to do is let us know what his blood type is, and by process of exclusion, we can determine which puddle, of the two samples belongs to him. And if none of them belong to him, then we know there were only two people who bled on the scene, so we would easily be able to determine that. And the point is,
No, he really killed them. Like, he really did. It was a whole altercation, an argument. We already covered that, though. That's why it's weird that they're bringing it up, because this has nothing to do with the case right now in reality. Unless they're trying to prove that that's the reason that made him insane, because they moved the bodies. But that ain't even, bruh, like, we covered the whole thing.
Stains match up with the testimony that was given by the Miss Dixon's family, and the story that they gave to the police, and the story that was linked to the press. If the stains don't match up with her story,
shit.
then Mr. Lloyd's...
My bad on Slight. I was not trying to do that. I was trying to give you a wrench, and I done blocked your ass. Hold on. What page am I on? You're unblocked now. Hold on. Give me a second.
Belief was well-founded, and that's why he wants it tested.
I do have one last question for you, which is that we've already tried the Dixon case, and all of this existed at that time. For some reason, this motion wasn't filed until now. I know you refiled it. I'm not meaning today, because you refiled it before that, Mr. Marrero. Not right now. Go ahead, Mr. Marrero. If you stand up to answer it, yeah.
My bad.
Judge, Mr. Lloyd has been telling
Good
us
now.
this for some time. He addressed it in the Dixon trial. I did not agree with him on the process. He addressed it after his conviction. He made a complaint about it to the court after his conviction. If you remember, the court allowed him to basically say what his thoughts were about my representation. So if it's anybody's fault for not bringing it forward, Judge, it's my fault.
Facts.
Okay. I'll give you a ruling on this by 5 o'clock. My other question is, after having said I'll give you a ruling by 5 o'clock, is how long is it going to take you all to get all this done?
That popping noise is annoying as hell. They need to get their shit together. We almost
The
done
testing?
now.
Yep.
Judge, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm not a doctor, but I think blood type testing is a fairly straightforward affair these days. And I also expect that we're going to be in jury selection for at least, I don't know, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it did. It took 6 days. I think we even covered that. Shit.
So there is time for it to be done. I don't think it's expensive, and I don't think it's difficult, and I don't think it takes long.
My issue is none of that. My issue really, I just want to know how long you expect it to take, is whether or not any of this is relevant.
Thank you.
Or,
Thank you, Judge.
For that matter, admissible. And then, anyway, all right, thanks. Next one I have. As I've told you all before, I was the jury selection judge last year for criminal cases. We started in October. We tried, I believe.
And that's the same judge that he had last time.
53 cases.
She just put on a little bit of weight, probably from COVID.
Before we shut it down in December, because there was a little bit
She
of
need to get some CMOS from Dr. Enke.
surge. Since January, Orange County has conducted trials both in criminal and civil circuit and county with no issues. And this is anecdotal. I haven't checked the stats, but I've been informed that the show-up rate for jurors is pretty much the same as it was before COVID. There just hasn't been anything that's jumped out at me or any other judge that would cause us concern about holding a jury trial. In the pandemic, we have all kinds of rules in place. So at this time, the motion to continue based on the COVID issues is denied. Jury selection begins at 9 a.m. on Friday morning. Anything else that we need to address today?
You guys.
I'd like to get as much of this out of the way before Friday morning as possible.
Let's get it. What? Yes, we are going to be covering that. Yes, we definitely will. Okay. Let me get my life together now. All right. Then I had one little short one. That's another case that I'm looking into. I'm going to have to find a way to juggle it all. But let me get this set up, y'all. it's kind of over, you know what I mean? Because the jury reached a verdict. But I want to look in more to the case because this shit crazy. So y'all, Friday, what? Markeith Loyd. Like, it's always, oh, okay. It's always fun. I done knocked some shit around on my shit. It's always fun to cover his cases, you know what I'm saying? Like, with him in it, because, he probably going to do something crazy as hell. But ultimately, we'll also get to cover a cop killer, basically, trial. So I think that would be good, too. You know, we covered other angles before, but I think we did actually cover a cop that was killed, somebody that was being held accountable for it. But this one right here is something that when I just, you know, went on YouTube today, it just popped up. I love them little gifts or whatever from YouTube. But this one is jury reaches verdict in trial of David Conley, Houston man accused of killing family of 8, and I think it says including children. Okay, let's take a look.
147-7785, State of Texas versus David Conley. The jury.
Oh, my bad. God damn it. I done pushed the wrong damn button. Hold on. Let me get my life. I'm still getting used to this. I like to use StreamYards now because it works for me now. But sometimes I want to go back to my old software too. You know what I mean? Because I got more options there. But let's check this out though really quick. Let me run that back. Since we only had 9 seconds.
147-7785, State of Texas versus David Conley.
This one's shorter.
I've been informed has reached a verdict. Before we call the jury in, I'd like to advise everyone and remind everyone that this is a court of law. We have certain procedures. Regardless of what the jury verdict is, I'm instructing everyone in this courtroom not to contain themselves. No shows of emotion. No outbursts, please. All right.
Here we go, y'all. Thank you, Neil TV.
Turn your phones off. Place them on silent or vibrate. Your phone should not ring or play weird ringtones. Please check your phone. All right, for the jury.
Bruh. The suspense is killing me.
We're on the record in clause 147-7785, State of Texas versus David Conley. It's my understanding that the jury reached a verdict. Is that accurate? Yes. Before man or woman, please present the verdict to the bailiff. Is this unanimous verdict for the jury? Yes. Is there any legal reason why the court may not now reach a verdict? No. All right. Mr. Conley, please stand.
Come on, man. Read the damn verdict.
Cause number 1477785, the State of Texas versus David Ray Conley III. We, the jury, find the defendant, David Ray Conley III, guilty of capital murder as charged in the indictment. You can see. Would you like to panel hold? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the verdict is unanimous. The counsel for the defense has requested that I call each one of you. I will proceed beginning with the gentleman in the back. Juror number 1, is this your verdict?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Number 2?
Guilty, y'all.
3? Yes. Number 4?
Yes.
Number 5?
Yes.
Markeith Loyd is a man that killed his baby mother that was pregnant, as well as obviously the unborn child, and attempted to kill her brother, then went on the run, then got caught. You know, a cop, she seen him and was going to go in to apprehend him, and then he killed her. And that's who Markeith Loyd is. Right now, he's about to start a trial on Friday for the death of the cop, but we already covered the previous situation, including the baby's mother and the unborn. That was his child, so.
Number 6? Yes. Woman in the back?
Yes.
7?
Yes.
8?
Yes.
9? Yes. 10?
Yes.
11?
Yes.
12?
He said capital murder. I don't know how it would be one capital murder charge for 8 people dying, but that's another reason why cases like this, initially looking at this, I mean, we've only watched this for 3 minutes and 47 seconds, but my mind is saying we need to look deeper into this because I kind of want to know the scenarios and the shenanigans that went on with this case. I know that I'm kind of doing this reverse. Normally we cover it and then cover the trial and then we'll go to verdict stage, but that's just where I'm at with it. Like, this case is kind of, I want to know what's going on, what's going on.
This is unanimous verdict of the jury and will be so.
Yep. There's other cases that I'm gonna be covering too where people killed their own children. I've already covered a few, like one mother killed her children and put them in a deep freezer, like, like a little stand-up one that you might have in your house or your apartment or something like that. That was a traumatic story. That was Michelle Blair's case. But yeah, then there was was it Jesse Powell? Somebody, a couple of other people anyway that got into altercations and they ended up killing their family members.
At this point, as a matter of law, it's time to assess punishment. Judge Conley, please stand and receive.
Yes. Yeah, they knocked his eyeball out and refused to give him medical attention basically until he did the interrogation.
Sir, having been found guilty of capital murder as charged in the indictment as required by law, I am now going to sentence you to life without parole in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division. Your sentence will commence today.
So, I don't know if y'all interested in that, but I am. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what happened with that case. For real. I'm interested in it. So, we might take a look at that as well. Like I said, I still got videos that we haven't even gotten to yet because it just seems to be more stuff coming out. But now we're going to kind of move over to the information, man. I don't remember the exact timestamp. You guys, I've been really busy. Like, my kids are home from school because they sat next to somebody with COVID, so they can't go to school or whatever until it would have been Monday, but I guess Monday is a holiday. Thank you to when I sent out the bunny ears to the winner for this week, or in reality, y'all didn't answer the question, so only one person got bunny ears this week, but I was going to do that, and the woman at the post office reminded me that Monday is a federal holiday. So the bunny ears will come Tuesday, and I got all the book requests for Dr. Enke's book sent in and all that, it's sent back. So if you requested Dr. Enke's book and you hit me up in my email, then you should check your email and you will have the book in there. So let's continue with this video right here. Now, shout out to the Information Man Show. I definitely like this video. I like the topic. I thought it was, appropriate. I have talked about this before, how there are several, but at the time I talked about it, talking about several melanated women and children that were missing. However, he highlights where several Black men are missing as well, and obviously we don't get much help from the mainstream media unless for some reason it's a case like Malia Davis, Cupcake McKinney, which are cases also that I covered. Also, Kanika Jenkins, I covered that on a channel that's not here anymore. Other cases, but it's sad that when our people go missing, they hesitate to get the word out and stuff like that. So I feel like he's trying to look for a solution in this video. I definitely hit his Cash App as a gift. You know what I'm saying? A small gift for using his video, because we don't want to, like, you know, just use his content or whatever. But we're here for the topic today. And I salute anybody that is speaking out. Oh my God, there's some, like, a piece of hair on my glasses. I salute anybody that's speaking out about situations like this. Those that were in the live yesterday that got banned, that I have to re-put up. You know, I had spoke about a family member of my daughter's that's missing. And, you know, this kind of just, it's on my mind right now because we don't know where she is. Hopefully she's okay. But this is the topic that we're talking about today, essentially. So the video is titled, Gabby Pestito's case, sparks media frenzy, but what about black people who go missing too? So, I can't remember exactly the little timestamp that he started, but I want to watch this basically in the totality. Of course, we'll cut out like the end part when he's just saluting his chat for, you know, the support and stuff like that. But I want to highlight people that are doing things like this because this is something that plagues us. And last night we talked about how they utilize, you know, in specifically stem cells or blood or certain parts of the body from babies or whatever. But I have also documented that on my pages. You know what I'm saying? These elite, they use certain chemicals that come from the body, like adrenochrome, things like that. So, like, where did all these people go and why is nobody talking about it? There's so many cold cases that maybe they need to get some extra funding to open up some type of, like obviously if the cold case people, like, what is going on, basically, period. Like, they need to do something. This many people should not ever come up missing and then it just goes swept under the rug. Like, that's ridiculous as hell. So we're pulling up on that, not saying that, you know, white cases don't matter. I've covered white cases, black cases, Hispanic cases. Shit, I think I even covered a Chinese girl that was found dead in a hotel too, at one point in time. But I don't really go off of that or whatever, but he now put that into my brain that may be something, you know, that obviously I need to cater more to, obviously, our people. But again, I do cover a lot, whether it's good, bad, ugly, whatever. We cover it here. So I'm just saying he kind of put a little new thought process or whatever in my head. I didn't cover the Gabby situation, because it was like highly, you know, publicized and stuff like that. And it's like at some point in time, like a lot of people just hitting on the same topic is kind of like regurgitation. And I'm more of the type that would bring you a case that maybe you didn't hear of or something like that. Not necessarily always ones that are just in the public's eye, because those that are not in the public's eye, they matter too. And I have definitely done that on my channels. But let's, you know, relax, unwind, and stuff like that, and listen to what this brother got to say. He's going to talk about another case that I'm looking into, Tyrese Gibson, not Gibson like the singer, but Gibson. That case, I haven't really had a chance to look into it yet, but that's my plan after this, as well as what I had stated with the other cases. And then we still have to manage the trial for Markeith Loyd. And I also have to search that down. So with that said, we got our hands full. I'll be active on social media. You know what I'm saying? So check me out. But let's check out the work of the information, man. I'm going to drop the link to this again, because what I want you to do is go there and just make sure that you know, click the link, go there, come back to the live, right? And then just maybe later on or before you come back to the live, make sure you share it somewhere so that this video can get out, because these are topics that we need to address on like a whenever it comes up basis. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on, but let's get to it.
Definitely touch on the heartstrings. It can definitely be an emotional roller coaster, but it's one that...
Hold on, let me go back just a little bit.
Peace, everybody. Peace. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Thank you for your patience. Tonight will be a somber night because I am going to get into an area that many of us do not feel comfortable talking about, and sometimes it can definitely touch on the heartstrings. It can definitely be an emotional roller coaster, but it's one that we need to delve into as soon as possible. What I'll do is I'll start off tonight by shouting people out in the chat room. I appreciate people that are coming over. I don't know how big of a crowd we'll get tonight, but it doesn't matter because the information is what is important. And it's very important that people share this in their social media. Share this in your community tab if you are a content creator. Everything that you can do to contribute to this definitely would be definitely much needed. What you see on the screen there next to me, it says, help us find us. This is a campaign that Black people, there's a website called Black People, or there's websites that say mission.com, Black people that are missing. And there are various activists, and there's two videos I'm going to show you tonight with one of these sisters who is an activist talking about the fact that Black people do go missing, and there's very little media play when we go missing. And so that's a hashtag that's basically has to do with us as it relates to Black people who have gone missing, and that is help us find us. So I want you to take heed in that hashtag that I have on the screen right next to me right now. So let me do this before I get into the presentation. Let me just shout out who's actually here right now. And let me just go ahead and do that. And let me just do this. I'll do this by this way. This might be more effective for me to do it this way. And then I got, let's see, who do we have? Who do we have here? So we got Gregory X, the minister. We got Peggy Roster. And you know what, Gregory X, do you have, yeah, you're moderated. I wanted to make sure you've been following me for a long time. We've got Peggy Roster in the house. We got Minister of Extreme. We got my man Keith. We have Black men that have been going missing at an all-time high, and I'm going to break down some of those numbers for you tonight. 3, you have Black children who are next in line to be those that are going. And about 9% said, yeah.
Hold on, let me go back. Because I was just trying to cut through him, you know, saluting his chat. You got to do that, you know what I mean? It's not an issue.
You can't help it. Now, I did a survey, and that survey was, do Black people get the same media coverage as white people when we are missing, like Gabby Patel? And the answer to that is 91% said no, and about 9% said yes. If you had not had a chance to vote tonight, go ahead and click your vote and be honest about that. Tonight will be definitely one to open up one's mind, because as I dug into this area of research, it really blew my mind. It's a threefold situation. 1, you have Black women that are going missing at an all-time high, and nobody's talking about it. 2, you have Black men that have been going missing at an all-time high, and I'm going to break down some of those numbers for you tonight. 3, you have Black children who are next in line to be those that are going missing disproportionately to our population. Now, they say we're 13%, 14%. Personally, I think there's more of us in this continent we call North America, or we call America, than they tell us. But just for the purpose of everything, of these statistics, they got us at 13, 14%, somewhere in there. And disproportionately, we have Black kids, Black children, Black women, and Black men that are far, and I mean far, too far, disproportionately falling into becoming missing, and nobody gives a damn about it. And I do mean nobody gives a damn about it.
Tell the truth.
Patella Afro is in the house. Thank you for being here. Sister Maury, is in the house. Good to have you here, Joy. Everybody, I see everybody coming in. Make sure you share this video in your community tab. Share this in your social media. It's a very important video in terms of the content and where we're going here. Now, and then we got fashion for, let me see, fashion for life is in the house. I like your avatar, sister. She says, I agree, information man. We got Craig R in the house, says cheers. We got life of GCV Gwen. Hey, Gwen, sister, I'm glad to see you. Did I miss his, what he said? Excited about things. I tend to speak too fast. So I want to slow it down. I want to show you statistics. I want to show you videos that I have. I want to show you pictures that I have, and so that it all tells the story as to what's going on. So shall we do that? Let's do that right now. We got Big Dog Philly in the house, and peace. And everybody, if anybody comes in the chat room and they're greeting me and I don't see them, just let them know, hey, info.
That's facts. That's facts, what she's saying. Down at in the comments, read it.
Info is going to let you know what's up. Or info is in the middle of a focus right now. It's no disrespect to anybody. And if I get any super chats, any of you guys can remind me, hey, info, you got a super chat, man. You just missed a super chat by such and such. And then when I do look at the chat room and I might have missed somebody, then I'll see somebody's message and I'll say, oh shit, I missed a super chat from such and such. Thank you. We got such a wonderful world journey is in the house. Thank you. She says, for educating the purposes, good evening. Thank you. And subscribe and put a 1 in the chat room. When you put these numbers in the chat room and you have activity in the chat room, it helps the algorithms of the channel. That's why I always say that. For any of you who are content creators, the more interaction you have in your chat.
So right before this, he said, put a 1 in the chat if you heard about this case. Let me know if you heard about this case at all.
Room with people in the chat room, it makes the algorithms turn to get to create more people to discover the video, to come into the video. So if you're familiar with this story, press 1. Okay. Let me put this up here too. Like so. So that's what we have right there. Now, what I want to do is put that back up here. So Gabby Patel, she's been getting a lot of press, ladies and gentlemen, right? Everybody's talking about this case because of the fact that it's something out of a movie. She has a fiance, a boyfriend who became her fiance. They had some type of a loving relationship. There was something going on when they went hiking, traveling, wherever the hell they decided to go to. And as you can see on that right there, read that right there on my screen. Gabby Patel, 6.1 million people are talking about this woman. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the reports came out that they found her body. If that's correct, say yes in the chat room. If I'm correct, let me know I'm correct in the chat room. If I'm not correct, help me to correct if I'm incorrect. As far as we know so far, she is no longer with us. She is no longer in the third dimension, right? And then the boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, as you can see on the picture I have up there, according to reports, he's on the run. If I'm not correct about that too, correct me. Has he been captured by the authorities, or is he still on the run? Is Brian Laundrie still on the run? If he's still on the run, put in the chat room he's on the run, or put run, and I'll see that it is that yes. So everybody is saying yes, he's on the run. So yes, he is on the run, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate everybody that's here tonight. I just want to clarify this. So he's still on the run, but this is the thing. 6.1 million people.
I don't think they found him yet.
People are talking about this woman. They've been looking for her. They've been searching for her, and eventually they found out.
Oh, they did find him too?
That she is no longer with us, right? Because she is dead, for a lack of a better word. And there's the posters you see as I put up there, Gabby Patel, missing person. And the police used a lot of resources. The media has been talking about her left and right. The media has been talking about the family, Brian Laundrie's family. There's been reports that somebody put out a video or a picture saying, oh, he's over here. That turned out to be false, not true at all.
Tell the truth.
There's been so much interest into this situation with this guy. Not only white people are looking at this and saying, hey, what's going on with this case, but you got black YouTubers and black people in social media, everybody of all races, creeds, religions, and what have you are studying this case. Everybody seems to be emotionally tied into what happened to her, why did he do this, and such and such and such. Now, if you look at crime statistics under the FBI, ladies and gentlemen, you would know that this is the type of crime that white males do all the time in American society, although they deem black men and black women, but particularly black men, as criminals. However,
that part, this makes no sense, though. He really should have been caught by now with as much coverages and resources being used. That's facts. There's a lot of money going into this. Every time that they pull out them helicopters to scan the area to look for her, that's like thousands. You see what I'm saying? All the manpower, all the man hours or whatever that they using exhausted on this one case alone. Shout out to Taz Exclusives. Man, you be bringing that heat. Make sure y'all check out his channel. Salute also to his wife, Nyla Says, as well. Let's get back into this, though.
White males, white people engage in most of the crime overall in America. Overall crime. So white males engage in serial type crime. White males engage in burglary, commercial burglary, domestic dispute, touching of little ones, if you know what I mean, abuse of the family. These are all the things that white males lead in. See, that's what they don't tell you on the news. On the Information Man show,
tell the truth.
You're going to get the truth.
Tell the truth.
Nobody is there.
And as somebody that researches crime on a daily, you know what I'm saying? Even if I'm not live with it, I'm still looking into some type of case or whatever. But that is true, though. That really is true.
Critiquing Brian Laundrie, where is he at? Where? Oh, he's not here. He's over there. He's everywhere. We don't know where he is. What they fail to tell you in the news is that this is the type of crime that a lot of white men engage in when they're off their rocker, when they're not thinking straight, and when they've got these narcissistic personality traits and what have you. If I can't have you, nobody can. There's rumors that maybe he did this to her because they had an argument, they had a fight, something went wrong. She wanted to get away from him, right? And therefore, he's running around missing, but she's now found dead. So now they're on a manhunt to find this man. But this is the type of crime that white males do engage in America. If you go look at the latest FBI statistics of 2019, you will find out that black males are not the face of crime or black people. I will still do a show very soon breaking down those numbers for you more in detail. But for now, check out the 2019 FBI crime statistics. I'm using their statistics. White males do have a propensity to engage in this type of crime. So that's a fact. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, is Brian Laundrie. And it seems that everybody, and I do mean everybody,
tell the truth,
seems to be highly invested in this story, as I said before. So here's a picture of him. Everybody's wondering where he's at. What did he do to Gabby? What have you? Well, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. While everybody is concerned about where Brian Laundrie is, and why everybody is concerned about what happened to Gabby Patel, nobody is concerned about the thousands and millions of black people that have gone missing over the years and continue to go missing even today. Nobody seems to give a damn, okay? When it comes to black people, no one cares.
There's more than 6 people watching. I'm live on 3 channels. So you might want to either go to Rabbit's Got the Gun TV, or you might want to go to one of my Queen's Throne channels. I'm live on 2 Queen's Throne channels.
Here's.
Tell the truth.
No one seems to be focused on what happens to us, and the media does a piss poor job of bringing our
No, they didn't find Brian.
Issues to the forefront. They do a piss poor job. They don't seem to give a damn. But if it's I gotta say it, if it's a blonde hair, blue-eyed young lady, they tend to give a damn. A lot of that comes out of slavery. A lot of that comes out of Jim Crow. A lot of that comes out of the fact that white men historically put their women on a pedestal, not to be touched by anybody. And there were black men that were lynched and mistreated when white women would lie and say, he did it to me. He did it to me. A lot of times they would lie. No, all the time they were lying. You got the 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre due to a white female lying on a black man. So as a result of that today, white women are given the benefit of the doubt when it comes to them lying about what happened to them. And not only that, when they go missing and there's any domestic thing that happens, and 9 out of 10 times it's a white male that does it to them, but they don't demonize white men in this society.
Tell the truth.
The media and the police and all the forces of America will say, we got to find her. This person's important. Even though you've got a lot of black people that have gone missing, particularly black.
What do you mean, Nicolette? Do you think he's real? The boyfriend? I saw the not the webcam, the body cam of when they got pulled over and they like jumped over the curb. I saw that. But then I also seen how many people were talking about it. And after, like, that's why I don't cover certain cases. Like, I'll let people get off what they gonna get off in certain cases about, like, R. Kelly and whatever, you know what I mean? Because I'm not here to sensationalize, like, anything. We here to get to the basis, like, period. So I'm not just gonna be putting out content what I could be focusing on. I mean, I'm saying them cases matter. But if you got, like, 7,000 people talking about it, what is the point? I would rather, you know, again, talk about something maybe people aren't talking about, you know?
Black females, and nobody gives a damn about black females in this society, or even black life for that matter. Let me go ahead and say, and so this what bothers me. You got a lot of people that are pro-lifers that say, hey, we're pro-life. Well, you're pro-life when the baby is an...
They banned my live yesterday, so if I can retrieve it, I'll have to retrieve it from StreamYards, put it in the video editor, edit out whatever they said was wrong with it, and then repost it. So if you see that, you know, don't know that I'm not just reposting shit just for the hell of it. That was a good build that we had yesterday, and it's unfortunate that these motherfuckers is haters. But anyway, you know.
Embryo, when the baby is in the body, but you don't seem to be pro-life when people are alive, particularly black people, when we're alive, bumping and moving and talking and living our lives. You tend to not care about us. I'm going to say this again to emphasize this again. 66.1 million people are talking about this woman. Are there, ladies and gentlemen, is there 6.1 million people talking about black females going missing, black males going missing, or black children going missing?
Nope.
If that's a yes, put a yes in the chat room. If that's a no, put a no in the chat room immediately, because we want to know what your thoughts are in this particular area. Okay?
Y'all weigh in too.
This is what I want to do.
I want to see it.
I'm going to put this up here because this is the most recent situation that's going on right here, ladies and gentlemen. I want y'all to look at that screen at the young lady. If you know who they are, you can say it in the chat room, of course. Let your thoughts be known in the chat room. And what I want to do right now is I want to break it down to you. So you have three beautiful black people that are here. Starting with I'm going to start with the brother to the right. That's Daniel Robinson. According to his father, he is a brilliant student. He is a geologist. He went to school for geology, and he was on his work site. Okay? And let's put his picture up here a little bit bigger and bolder. Right here, like so. And let you know about this brother right here. So what's going on is that Daniel Robinson has been in Arizona for the last 3 months searching for his 24-year-old son, David Robinson, has been searching for his son. That's the father, Daniel Robinson, who went missing after leaving a work site in the desert in his Jeep Wrangler on June 23. So he jumped in his Jeep, he jumped in his Jeep and hadn't been seen since. Robinson, who lives in Southern California, had hired an independent investigator and assembled a volunteer search team when he says he felt the police, check this out, when black people go missing, we get little to very little help and assistance, even by law enforcement. He said here that he felt that he wasn't getting any help from law enforcement. So he wasn't making any progress with law enforcement in the investigation. He also says that he failed to get the amount of media coverage, just like I said, he's not getting media coverage just like Gabby Patel. See, there's very little value on black life in this country, ladies and gentlemen. Not getting media coverage, he believes in the case that's needed. In his son's case, it's needed. The case was reported by the local media as early as July 9th. Robinson said that he's sympathetic with the family of Gabby Patel, whose remains were recovered Sunday after she disappeared while exploring the park in Wyoming. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? In Wyoming, ladies and gentlemen, there are 700 Native Americans. We're talking about indigenous people, 700 that have gone missing, and the authorities in the state of Wyoming have done absolutely nothing.
Tell the truth.
But they are steadfast in their march, in their energy to look for Gabby Patel. And I'm not saying that they're not supposed to look for a missing person, but they were steadfast in looking for her, and they are now steadfast in trying to find Brian Laundrie, right? But not steadfast in looking for this young man, Daniel Robinson. Okay? Now, moving on, Daniel Robinson said it is hurtful to see
That's a fact, Flintstone.
a young white woman case met with more urgency. I'm going to say it again. This is the father of Daniel Robinson. He says that it was very hurtful to see the case of a white woman gain more urgency and more national attention than his son, who is black. That is the truth.
Tell the truth.
That is the truth, sir. Robinson is among black and brown families whose loved ones remain missing and have struggled to get fair attention on their cases. Some say that they have gotten frustrated with watching the search for missing white women like Patel be in the spotlight while police appear to allow their case to go cold or classify their loved one as a runaway. So this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When black people go missing, they say that we are runaways. Even when children go missing, black children go missing, they will call black children runaways. Now, I'm going to be fair here. I'm going to read this to you. More than 600,000 Americans go missing every year. Some are runaways. Now, that's the statistics. So in American society, overall, ladies and gentlemen, 600,000 Americans do go missing, and quite a few of them are runaways. But every time, almost damn near every time black people go missing, they look at it as a runaway, okay? Now, let me share this with you. A share of 2020 active missing person cases. Now, let me go back over here. I'm being very measured in my program right now. Let me go into the next one right here. Okay, let's go into, let me see, Jelani Day, this young brother right here. Let me put his picture up and make it front and center. So Jelani Day, his mother, Cameron Baldwin Day, has spoken out in recent days pleading for answers and more help finding Jelani. Now, what I found out doing my research is that apparently they said that they found his body somewhere in a park or woods or something, somewhere he was going to a university. And a lot of the university students are taken back by the fact that he's no longer here. So
I'm wondering with that, right? Now, this is just a possibility. It just came to my mind. I'm low-key intuitive, but just want to throw this out here. Was he involved in some type of hazing? You know, in college, they often drink a lot. Did something go wrong? Did somebody leave him when they should have really had his back? And then, you know, now they've done something, right, with him because they didn't get him the help that he needs. I mean, it could have been something else, but I'm just saying, I ain't looked into the case. I'm just saying I got that vibe.
Let me do this right now. We got Tiffany Jackson in the chat room, Big Dog Philly. We got Chris CCC's in here. Let me see. Fashion for Life, RY. J-Lo. I got a lot of my regular folks that usually come over. We got Neon Eyes in the house. Thank you for coming over. We got Joy, Gregory Harris. Greg Harris is in the house. RY, DOD. Just a lot of lovely people in here. I'll be honest with you. There really should be a lot more. And Sister Maury is in the house. There really should be a lot more people because this is just as important as me talking about Polite or any of these well-known people that people tend to. This is just as important. Now, I know that Art Kelly, he's going to jail. He's finished. That was the breaking news today.
It could be. It could be Wob Funk. It could be. I was just throwing it out there, though, you know.
They got him for child trafficking. They got him for racketeering. He's finished in show business. Okay, and everybody's going to be talking about that, I'm sure. But check this out. The Bloomington Police Department, I have been in frequent contact with them. They told HLN, however, there has been no urgency. That's a media outlet that she told. There has not been a drive to find Jelani. Now, just to keep it 100% real, they did find his body. But the point that's being made here is in the beginning, Jelani Day's mother was struggling to get the police in the community out there to help find her son. But they did find him finally, but it was a struggle. All right, it was a struggle. Let me go over here. There has not been the drive to find Jelani. Other black families say they are also angry about how police have handled their cases. Okay, some have gained more attention, on social media in light of Patel case. On Thursday, the body of missing graduate student Jelani Day was identified. That was this past Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, after he went missing. The coroners of LaSalle County, Illinois, confirmed Day identity through forensics, dental identification, and DNA testing comparison. Okay, some comparisons. The office said in a news release shared by the Bloomington Police Department. Day was 25 years old, graduate student at the Illinois State University, whose mother said he inspired to become a speech pathologist, was reported missing on August 25th, and she said that there was very little to no attention brought to this case. This is a damn shame, ladies and gentlemen. Now, here is another story that I must get into. This sister right here, I believe she's on the far left, and this is Keisha Jacobs, if I got her name correct. And here's a picture of her. And the mother pled to find the daughter. She's pleaded to find the daughter missing near 5 years now. Tanya Jacob said her daughter, Keisha Jacobs, has been missing since September 26, 2016, when she left the family apartment in Richmond, Virginia. Jacob said Keisha, now 26, said she was going to spend the night with a friend but never returned home the next day. Jacob said that police initially suggested that Keisha was ignoring her mother's calls and likely was not missing. However, 14 months after Keisha went missing, police said they suspected foul play was a factor in her disappearance. Jacob said that it is unfair that Keisha, who was only a year younger than Gabby Patel, when she vanished, did not receive the same intense search effort and publicity as Patel. My heart goes out to everybody that is missing. I don't want any parents to go through what I'm going through. That's Keisha's mother, Miss Jacobs, she told CNN. But at the same time, it does frustrate me because Keisha did not get that attention. What made the FBI think her case was more important than Keisha? The cases are just not taken serious, ladies and gentlemen. This year, long disparity. These are disparities in the system, and this is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. This is something else. Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand what I mean when I say I understand why people are looking at the Gabby Patel case? But while you study that case and you wonder where Brian Laundrie is at, we should also be reverent to black people who have gone missing. We should definitely be reverent to our own people that have gone missing and do stories about that as heavily as we can. Now, I'm not accusing and saying that nobody's doing stories about black people being missing, but I just see that not only is the larger society at 1.6 million people very focused on the Gabby Patel case, but we got cases, recent cases of 3 black people, particularly 2 black young men who have gone missing, and the parents have said that there's little to no attention to their cases. I think it's a damn shame that this is happening. Let's go back into the chat room and see what people are saying here. Let me see right here. So we got Chris, let me see what we got here. Let me look at my phone here. We got Black Votron. We got Sister Maury in the house, Keith, Raw B Privileges in the house. Thank you for being here. Share out the video, and share this in your community tab as well. We got Cat PY2, J-Lo chatted me. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super
and
chat.
And Erica, who's come over. Thank you, Erica, for being here. Thank you, information man. It is very, very important. Yes, it is very, very important.
Tell the truth.
And you speak the truth, so I thank you for coming in. I thank you for the super chat. Thank you, DOD, for reminding me, brother, that I got a super chat. Thank you, Lady T. We are unorganized. And let me see if I can get him on the screen here. I want to get his super chat on the screen. I'm having some malfunction problems here. Now, in the poll that we've taken, out of 115 people so far, is 88 people say no, and 12% people say yes. Let me see. Let me see what Gloria is saying here. She says, let me see. Wait a minute. Murray is saying, you also have a super chat from, yeah, I got that. Thank you, sister. I got a super chat from the minister, and I appreciate him giving me this super chat. Now, let's get back, if we can, into the rest of the presentation. I appreciate everybody that's here. So here's another picture of black people that have gone missing. I just want to show you a collage of pictures that I think everybody should be aware of. And let me take this off the screen right here. So here is a group of black people that are also missing. Okay. Let's go right here. Here is another group of black young ladies that are missing. I didn't know, how many of you all knew about this? Put a 1 in the chat room if you knew about this. 14 girls have gone missing in D.C. in the last 24 hours. So there was a big problem in Washington, D.C. with a lot of black young ladies going missing. And that was a big news. 14 girls have gone missing in D.C. in the last 24 hours. This was a big Twitter post. It got 393 likes. Yet Gabby Patel gets 1.6 million. Black folks, we got to do better than that. If our own people are getting missing, why are we not getting more, pushing out what's happening to our people more and more, right? Why are we not doing this? Maybe I'm barking down the wrong tree. You all tell me if I'm barking down the wrong tree. Here you go. Here is actual pictures of black people that are missing. All of them missing. And nobody seems to give a damn about black people that are missing in this society. And I'm going to tell the truth on that.
Tell the truth.
Missing, and more missing. Maybe this is the proper message that we should be saying. Why is it so damn or so dangerous being black? especially in American society. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let me put this up for you. This is what I was going to read to you before. This is a share of 20, everybody, I'm going to say this slowly. This is a share of 2020 active missing persons cases, share of the United States population. White people, yes, white people do lead in being missing more than anybody else. But when they are missing, they get more media coverage than anybody else. Okay? The share, now white people.
That's facts. Trafficking is $1 billion, I would say trillion.
People are at 54%
dollar business. But yes, facts. Big facts.
In being missing. Their share of the population is 76%. We also know that they took a dip in their population due to the fact that they're not reproducing themselves as much. And there's also an increase in other people of other melanated shades that are growing. Okay, now black people are at 31% going missing. However, like I said before, they have us coined at 13% of the population. Whether that's true or not, we got to do more statistical studies and research on that because they've been holding us at 13% for decades. The largest disparity, check this out, 2% Asian people. They make up 6% of the general population, right? Native Americans, 2%, 1% of the overall population. Unknown means people of all different races at 10%. But check this out on this chart. The largest disparity is among black people who make up about 1/3 of active missing persons, but only 13% of the population.
Tell the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. We have a very serious problem. And we need to take heed to this situation. We have a very serious problem.
Information is power.
We have a very serious problem, ladies and gentlemen. So while everybody is making videos about Gabby Patel, while everybody is going crazy, trying to figure out why this happened to her, in the beginning trying to find her, they have found her and she is no longer with us in the third dimension. But while everybody is trying to identify, well, what happened to Brian Laundrie? Where is he at? And I understand why everybody wants to know where he's at, because he committed a heinous crime and he needs to come. He needs to be taken in by the law and he needs to be held accountable for what he did to her. But what I'm saying to you in a nutshell again, everyone seemed to be steadfast in their desire to put forth the effort to push forth finding this woman, although they found her dead, but everyone eyes and ears and hearts at 1.6 million people talking about this has been around this case. Why has there never been that same energy put forth when it comes to black men, black children, and black women be going missing? And out of all three, black men and black children and black women go missing more than anyone else in our society, within our community. Right here, check this out. Missing kids of color. Y'all know I don't like that word because that word does not identify actually who you really are, because you can put anybody in that people of color frame. Yes, you can. And I mean, yes, you can.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
And make sure you subscribe to the channel.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Right here, about 14% of the United States children are black, but black kids account for more than 1/3 of missing cases. Missing children is in the red. All U.S. children is in the black. White children at 57%. Once again, white people. So this includes white people, including Hispanics, at 57%. And they are 76% of the population, 76% of the population. Although they did take a dip. The chart might be maybe a year off or so from the latest census. Now, black people, or in this case, black children, are 37% of the kids that go missing, making up 14% as part of the black population. Okay, that's what they're saying in this chart. All other people are at 6%, making up 10% on this chart. This is about 14% of United States children are black, but black kids account for more than a third of all missing children in this situation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a problem.
Information is power.
This is a serious problem. Let me put this up here for you. This is a comprehensive live stream. That's why I'm trying to slow things down so that everything that I'm saying gets out there. Now, this was another situation here. Missing persons, race disparity, blacks missing foundation. This was on channel 11, WBA TV. I don't know exactly where that's at, but here it is. Missing persons, 40%. 40% of missing persons are, for the lack of a better word, people of color. And black people are 13% of that population. They're really talking about black people, ladies and gentlemen. That's who they're really talking about. This is the truth.
Tell the truth.
That's overall people of color, but it's actually black people. Now, as I said before, I read off, that's Jelani there. And then, of course, you have the other brother there, Daniel Robinson. Families of missing black men. When black men go missing and nobody seems to give a damn about black people or black men in particular as well. Families of missing black men plead for more resources and accountability from police. I want the same manpower for my brother, D'Angelo Day, who's on the picture as well to the far right. D'Angelo and Day said while speaking of Gabby Patel's case, Day's brother went in Illinois August 24th. So that's his brother, DeAndre, let me say that correctly. DeAndre Day is the brother of, this is the damn shame. Of Jelani. He is the brother of this. I'm trying to compose myself because when I went through this, it really made me angry because I'm saying to myself, Gabby Patel's become a big story, but we got all types of people going missing, and particularly black people. And I'm going to say it again for people who came into the chat room a little late. You got Native Americans, indigenous people in Wyoming where she went missing. Over 700 Native people, indigenous people in Wyoming have went missing. There's been no attention paid to them, but all this attention was paid to Gabby Patel. I'm not saying that she should have never gotten any attention, but what I'm saying is there's a disparity in who gets attention and it's based in race. And I know people don't like talking about race. You're always saying, there you go with the race stuff again, because it's happening. It's real. It is real, and it is happening. And let me come over here like so. Here's another example of a young man who's missing. If you have information on Dean Ford's whereabouts, please call the NYPD. This is in New York, 7th Precinct at 212-477-7313 or by dialing 911. Have you seen me finding Dean Ford? This is another young man. He has an award-winning smile right there who has gone missing. And ladies and gentlemen, this is really no joke. None of this is a joke. This is no laughing matter whatsoever. No, it's not no laughing matter. No, it's not a laughing matter at all. This is very serious. So when you all have been following this Gabby Patel situation, and I do hope they find Brian Laundrie if they have not already, because he needs to pay for what he did. But think about the fact that we live in a society where they tell black people, pay your taxes, pull your pants up, right? They tell us to be into respectability politics. If you just don't have your pants sagging, look respectable, talk good, get education, do all these good things, you'll be treated fairly and you'll get a fair crack. Well, when we go missing, nobody gives a damn about us. There's hardly any talk about our circumstances, our situation, even when our parents go to bat for us, even our community and our friends and loved ones. The media doesn't really give a damn. And usually when the media gives us attention, it's after they find your body they find you no longer alive. Now all of a sudden the media wants to come around and start talking to us. Oh, it was foul play. Oh, he ran off. Not to mention when it comes to black kids that go missing, remember, they overage black people, especially black children. They overage our black children when they go missing, or when they define it as missing, when we're saying, no, something's wrong here, officer. Let's go back into this. I want to put this map up here for you all to see. This is a map of our country. You see all those different dots there. But what you need to know, as I talked about black men a minute ago, is I want everybody to take a guess right now in the chat room. How many black men have gone missing overall in this country we call America, as you see that map up there? Take a guess. I want to see what people come up with. What do you think is the number? What do you think is the number? Cap PY2, RY, Joy, Chris CC, Patience is in the house. Peace to you. RY, Joy's in the house. King Wage is coming in. What do you think is the number? Anybody want to guess in there? Put a number out. Okay, we got RY says 50,000. Chris CC says fact. We got Big Dog Philly OG says 10 million. We got Afro, Share, Shade. Afro is in the house, says 8,000. J-Lo Rich says 1,000. 10,000 for Earl Owens. King Wage, what's up to you, brother? We got T.Y. France, 100,000 coming in. 100,000. We got Roxanne saying 78, 97 million. Woo! We got Minister Extreme saying 1.7 million. We got Peggy Rosser saying 100 million. We got Mickey Bricks 2.0 saying 1 million. We've got let me see. Bob Cosmetics is saying the white man will break your legs and then give you a crutch. Okay, I hear what you're saying, brother. We got Mankind 4. Someone must have took his message out there. I hope he's not trolling. We got RY. We got Moses in the house. Moses Black Thor is in the house. And let me see who else. We got Earl Owens. We got 100,000 by Mankind. Mankind 4 says 1,000. J-Lo Rich says 1,000. Let me stop right there. J-Lo Rich says 1.5 million. We got Glassy Kingdom. I love that you're over here, Glassy Kingdom. Glassy Kingdom, when you go live soon, I'm going to go over to the TR show. And you also got the other channel, Glassy Kingdom, as you're coming in right now. Let me mod you up. You should be modded up. I think you're modded up on the TR show, but you're not modded up on the Glassy Kingdom. But now you are modded up. Okay? I looked at both your channels. You're doing great things over there, brother. Everybody definitely check out Glassy Kingdom. He has 2 channels, the TR show, and he also has Glassy Kingdom. We have Jackie in the house. She says 2 million. We've got Tiffany Jackson saying, what's up to Black Voltron? We got Sheldon, who gave me that beautiful super chat, said 110,000. Keith says, just a quick question. Golden Melanin is saying this, and we cannot stand by and let them continue to gaslight what happens to our youth, like they did with Kendrick Johnson, who was found without his organs, wrapped up in a wrestling mat. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely 110%. Let me look at you right now and say you're absolutely 110% correct. Another thing I want to bring to you, have you heard of the case of Therese Gibson in Texas? He went missing after leaving his parents' house with to hang out with some friends, and some of these people have not even been arrested. They can't find his body. You have one person that's in jail right now, but the others that have been bragging about stuff, they're not in jail. SP News, if she's out there listening, I'm still waiting to get the information from the mother, because I'm bringing the mother on my channel to talk about this young black male from a year, I think it was a year or two ago, that his crime has gone unpunished, and they have not found his body. That's in Texas. That's Therese Gibson. Look into that case. This young man was a high school, I think.
I'm not sure about the Kendrick situation, Kendrick Johnson. I know that they re-exhumed his body, so this is like at least the second time that they've went in and claimed that they're looking at the case. We got to definitely follow up with that, because I know that I talked about it on my pages. At least one of them that's still up. At least a portion of it. I think like in totality, like everything that I've done in the Kendrick Johnson case, that's not online. But there is little certain parts.
I think he was a high school student. No, a college student, I believe. I want y'all to look into his case. I'm going to be bringing, hopefully, his mother on this channel to interview her about this situation. So I want you all to look at that. Now, let me give you the answer to that. Everybody, the closest person to the answer in there was brother, the minister of Extreme was right. He said 1.7 million. But this is what it is, my brother. It's actually 1.5 million missing black men in America. You hear what I said? 105 million black men missing in America.
That's the issue.
And I'm going to put this back up here again, right next to me. Be patient with me, ladies and gentlemen. And that is, help us find us. That's the hashtag. Help us find us, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's one.
That's facts, Flintstone. There is tunnels. That's facts. Even in other states as well.
1.5 million black men that are missing. That's a lot of black men that have gone missing, and nobody gives a damn. And when this is happening, do you see anybody putting the type of effort at the tune of 1.6 million people saying, whoa, what's going on? We got black men going missing. We've got black women going missing. We have black children going.
It should, Nikwa. It should make everybody scared. You know what I mean? Not only black men, but there's children that are, a lot of children that are missing, as well as black women. So there's just black people being just removed and put somewhere where they can't be found. Like, how do these people not be able to find 150 or 105 million, you know what I mean, people
missing, and nobody?
Like, what are they doing? Obviously, the law enforcement all the way up is connected in on this.
Gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn. Let me go ahead again.
But the news will come and tell you some dumbass shit. They don't got time for this. Even when they deal with sexual offenses, you know what I'm saying, molestation, we looked at clips that were like 17 seconds long. That's it. Like, they was just like, so-and-so got molested. So-and-so, you know, this happened to so-and-so, bye. And it was just really quick. But why isn't this talked about more? They should have little specials on each news show. All these little fucking talk shows, they need to, like, get on this. But they won't.
Put this up here.
And this ain't no new phenomenon. This been going on for years. Because when I initially documented it, it was 2016.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. Not only are black men going missing at the tune of 1.5 million, and if you can still hear my mic and everything's coming out nice and crispy, put a 1 in the chat room. Fatal police shooting. So it's not only enough that we have to worry about going missing and nobody caring about us being missing, but on top of that, black men are fatally shot by police by per million by race. Death per million from January 1st, 2015 to May 28, 2020, just a year ago. You can see right here, I'm going to remove something so that there's no doubt about what I'm talking about.
That's facts.
The scale right here, as you can see, it's got black people at 30% right here, right? You got Hispanics at 22%, white people at 12%, and others at 4%. They never tell you who the goddamn other is of other races, but black people, black men in particular, fatal police shooting per million by race. Black people are fatally shot by police more often than anybody else, and we are 3 times often shot when we don't even have a weapon in our hand in comparison to white males or white people. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there because we're going missing, and we're also going missing because of the fact that we are being shot by police out here. Not to mention that you have a lot of black men that are incarcerated. So that also takes us off the street and makes us disappear. There was an article that came out a couple of years ago saying, why are black men disappearing from various areas in black communities? Why is this happening? Why? It's crazy. I want to thank everybody for watching this show tonight. I appreciate you coming over. I know it's late for some people across the country, but I'm getting through my presentation, and I'm going to get to those videos. I want to put this up here because I think this is very important as well. Right here is missingblackpeople.com. Missingblackpeople.com. This is a website. There are many websites, if you do your research, that talk about black people being missing. I've got about 2 videos where there's a sister that's an activist that's going to tell you about the organization that is doing their best to fight the disparity of black people that are going missing, and nobody gives a damn. So while we're doing all these videos and talking about Gabby Patero, and we're watching what's happening in that saga, because they're trying to find, as you already know, they're trying to find Brian Laundrie, and I understand it's very compelling news. It's very compelling. You want to watch it. You want to gobble it up, eat it all up, consume it, because it definitely keeps your eyeballs on the screen. But think about the fact that you got black people that are going missing. Here are black females. This is Washington, D.C. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Missing teen girls from Metro Washington, D.C., March 1st, 2017, March 17th. And these young ladies have never been found. Look at that screen right there. I want y'all to look at that for effect. Y'all see that? If y'all see that, say yes in the chat room. I'll put a 1 if you see it. If you're taking it in, these are missing black females, young girls, teenage girls. Here's a picture of another brother that's gone missing. Okay. Oh, and for the UK, for our brothers and sisters in the UK, do you know in the UK about 14% of missing youth in the UK is about what? It's black people in the UK. Black teens, black people are going missing in the UK at the tune of 14% there in the UK. Now, look at this on the screen. This is a damn shame. It says here, Sky News. Does anybody know where Sky News is? Can you guess in the chat room what network represents Sky News? It says here, off limits. Why are black kids more likely to go missing in the United States? Where is Sky News located? So we know that black men are missing at 1.5 million currently. Tiffany Jackson, good to see you. RY, Bobby Cosmetic. We got Moses Blackthorn. He says Fox. No, it's not Fox. It's not Fox. Good dad. It's the UK. We got Mickey Bricks 2.0 says, yes, you ain't wrong. So check this out. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. DOD is correct. He says it's the UK. Yes, Sky News is news networks in the UK. Now, Everybody, take notice here. Mickey Bricks 2.0 is from the UK. I'm familiar with her. She is from the UK. She said that I have not lied, that I've told the truth.
Tell the truth.
Mickey Bricks from the UK, sister. Let everybody know if I'm telling the truth because you from the UK. 14% of black youth are going missing in the UK. But check this out. The Sky News in the UK is saying, why is black kids going missing in America when they got kids in the UK that are black that are going missing as well? But they're saying, why are black kids going missing over here? Because we're probably going missing more than even black kids in the UK. But it doesn't matter because black kids and black people are going missing all over, and I'm going to say it again, all over the world. And it's a big, big problem.
Information is power.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So tell me if I'm wrong or right. We got Lady B Unstoppable in the house, coming in the house. We got the resident lady. I think we got Lady in the house saying Oliver Manson is still missing. He was a teacher from Baltimore, another black man who is missing in Baltimore. Oliver, let me say that name again. Oliver Manson, M-U-N-S-O-N, Manson, still missing. And I'm going to have to look that case up. And we got Joy in the house. And we've got Peggy Rosser says, the news reporters in San Francisco, California named Frank Sullivan. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let me tell y'all about that. Peggy Rosser, thank you. There's a news reporter in San Francisco, a newscaster. He's been in for ABC News in San Francisco. He's been doing it for years. He brought up the issue of Gavi Patel, but he was saying that, wait a minute, everybody's talking about Gavi Patel, but what about black people who go missing? And guess what happened to him? They suspended Frank Sullivan. I know him. I lived in San Francisco for many years. Frank Sullivan was suspended from TV because he mentioned about blacks being missing, and the reporter is white. They wanted him to only talk about the Gavi Patel case. Ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy. This is really crazy.
Information is power.
Right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. And I think everybody in that chat room, I'm doing my best to take a look at the chat room as much as I can. I'm really depending on people to remind me of anything that I missed when I have a chance to look at the chat room. Please thank you, Sister Maury. I'm tongue-tied tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but I want y'all to look at this screen right here. It says, our black girls. We got a sister right here, Sister Edward, 17-year-old suspect to be victim of a serial killer. Okay, Sister Chambers right here, 35 years old, left Texas home and did not return. That's what you see on the screen. Please look at your screen very carefully, because what you're about to see next is going to blow you away. This is very important. And it can be no doubt that what I'm about to show you statistically is going to blow you away. And with that said, let me get ready to prepare you for the breaking news. right here, ladies and gentlemen. Remember I told you that 1.5 million black men are missing, and black women are actually they're missing just as much. Black women go missing a ton because of being a female. Naturally, females are normally victimized because females are seen as the weaker sex, and they get preyed upon because you have sexual predators out here who want to have their way. And check this out right here. It says tens of thousands of black girls and women go missing every year. Last year, the figure was nearly 100,000, yet their cases hardly ever grab national headlines. That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
Once again, tens of thousands of black girls and women go missing every year. But last year, that figure was nearly 100,000, yet their cases hardly ever go recognized nationally. While we're all talking about the Gabby Patel case, we should really be talking about, in unison as black people on YouTube, everybody really should be talking about and ringing the bell of concern. Everybody should really be talking about how we have a lot of black women, black men, and black children that are going missing. But instead, everybody wants to talk about the Gabby Patel case because that's more sexier. And I believe it's sexier because we are all culturally conditioned in this society to see black as inferior and white as superior. And as a manifestation of that cultural conditioning, we will underestimate, undervalue, and marginalize black life, at the same time putting white life on a pedestal. And at the same time as black people, we do the same thing to ourselves by undermining and undervaluing each other as well, because we've been taught self-hate. That's why you can have 6.1 million people talking about her interest in this situation, even after she has been pronounced dead because they found her body. But there's no talk, no urgency, no bells being rung when it comes to black life in American society, and not only American society, globally. Have I set my case? Have I set my analysis? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a damn shame. I'm going to put this up here once more again. Why is it so dangerous being black, particularly in America? Let me put this up here to you so you can see this right here. Check this out right here. Please look at these numbers I'm putting on the screen for you. This is not, I know the stream is not as sexy as talking about Umar Johnson, or sexy as talking about Polite, or sexy as talking about, predators out there of that nature. You know, that gets a lot of people coming over. That gets, tons of people coming in. But this is just
talking about regular street level predators does not get people in your chat room. Trust to believe that.
Just as importantly.
But yes, Umar Johnson, Polite, that type of shit. Yes, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you think it's just as important, put a 1 in the chat room. It's very important. Right here, black girls.
Respectfully, of course.
Black girls and women were reported missing at a disproportionate rate last year. In 2020, 268,884 girls, 268,884 girls and women were reported missing in the United States. This was in 2020 statistical numbers. So there's different numbers I've thrown at you. Okay. According to the National Crime Information Center, a third of those reported missing were black, far greater than their share of the overall female population. You have white girls and women. You see? Black girls and women right there. You have the share of the United States girls and women. That's in the white shaded area. And the share of missing girls is in the darker shaded area. So basically, once again, white people do go missing more than black people overall. But when they go missing, there's more attention paid to their cases. When black people go missing, there is no attention paid to our cases, whether black man, black child, black adolescents, black teenagers, black women, black teenagers, the whole 9 yards. Do you understand this is a problem?
Information is power.
Over the backdrop, I'm going to put this over the backdrop of Gabby Patel because she's getting all the attention, but I want to put this over the backdrop of her missing poster here. Let me read this to you as well. This is another statistic here. According to the Black and Missing Foundation, 543,018 Americans reported missing in 2020. 59% were white or Hispanic, 37% were black. Only 7% of the minorities reported missing received media coverage. Only 7% out of the 37% of Hispanics. You got 59% of 59% of whites and or Hispanic, because you have Hispanic people that will claim white, and that's true. They do that for whatever their reasons are. You can guess them. 37% are black or were black people. But
I know what the reasons are. The Castile system. It's called the caste system, not Castile. I always want to say that, I think, because Philando Castile, but the caste system.
We only make up 7% of the coverage when we go missing. That's a problem. Let me put up another slider for you. Here is another slider. The FBI National Crime Information Center, the NCIC database, lists 424,066 missing children under 18 in 2018. And that's some years ago, of course, but it's still relevant to the content tonight. The most recent year for which data is available, about 37% of those children are black, even though black children only make up 14% of all children in the United States. So if black children make up 14% of all children in the United States, and we make up 37%, our children make up 37% of the missing children out of the 14% overall makeup of children in the United States being black children. That's a problem. That's a damn shame. And I'm hitting the bell on this right now. It's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. This is a serious problem. It's a very, very serious problem. Now, as I get to the crescendo of my program tonight, I told you I was going to go in and give you the definitive analysis on this issue. You see now, when you look at the numbers, when you look at what's happening to black people in America and throughout the world, when you see that we need to be paying attention to what's happening to us. Now, what happened to Gabby Patel was tragic. It was terrible. I hope they find Brian Laundrie. I hope he pays the price to the highest extent of the law. But I'm asking that question to everybody in the chat room right now. Why can't black people get the same attention paid to us when something terrible happens to us? Why is that? Excuse me. Why can't that be the case? This is crazy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you some videos that will put a crescendo on the program tonight, but it will drive home the points of where I'm going with this. Once again, I'm going to put this back on the screen. I want y'all to see that website. I want y'all to see that. MissingBlackPeople.com. I want y'all to realize what you're looking at right there and understand the realities of what we go through in America as black people in this country. We go missing. Nobody cares about us. Nobody talks.
We definitely have a caste system in America, without a doubt. This is also proof, because if we didn't, then each of these people that have been missing would have got the same amount of respect as all those other Caucasian or whatever people, you know what I mean, cases. Not to bring just, you know what I mean, but you can't avoid this. Like, there's no way around this. This looks bad on the police, the investigators. Like, fuck is going on?
It's about us. The media doesn't give a damn.
Why is the media not saying nothing? And then when people on YouTube do talk about these things, that, you know, that live stream is normally overlooked. But if it was drama, the walls would be packed.
Even some of us don't give a damn
wall
about
to
us.
wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the breaking news that you need to hear right now.
But why not, Panther? Why aren't they present? They should be, right? This shit don't look good. And again, I covered this originally in 2016. Except it was just different people that were missing at the time.
Is power. The case of Gabby Petito has gone viral, making national headlines every day. But many minority families of missing victims are questioning why they don't receive the same kind of exposure. The FBI had over 89,000 active missing person cases at the end of last year, and 45% of those were people of color. And only a fraction of those cases were even covered on the news. 7 on Your Side's investigative reporter Dan Kraut has more on one group's efforts to change that.
Thousands of people go missing from the streets of New York City every year. Many of those are found fairly quickly, but some go missing for months, and you don't often hear about it. The disappearance and homicide of Gabby Petito has received worldwide attention. Law enforcement across the country have been involved in the search for her and her boyfriend. But many people go missing that don't make the headlines. Tiffany Wesley from the Bronx, missing since July. Aliyah Boomer of Brooklyn vanished 6 years ago. And Larry Darnell Stackhouse disappeared from upstate New York 16 years ago.
They're simply not receiving that level of mainstream media.
Derica Wilson co-founded the National Black and Missing Foundation to help be a voice for the voiceless.
Everyone knows Natalie Holloway, Lacey Peterson, Chandra Levy, Elizabeth Smart, Gabby Petito. But I will have to ask, how many people can you name that are minority, black and brown?
More than 13,000 people were reported missing in New York City alone last year. We tried to get the racial breakdown of the missing and how many cases have been solved, but the NYPD hasn't released it, saying the number of missing persons is fluid as investigations are active and constantly change. Wilson says nationwide, close to half involve people of color.
All these families that are living in this nightmare, their hearts bleed the same way.
She says they're not made public for a variety of reasons.
Oftentimes when families of color report their loved ones missing, police are not taking the cases seriously. When it comes to children, they like to classify them as runaways.
But there's something everyone can do to help be a part of the solution. And that can be as simple as hitting the share button on social media.
Do not just like the post. We want them to share the post, retweet the post. Someone knows something.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Because they were. Whitehead is talking about what's come to be known as the missing white woman syndrome. She's the founder and director of the Carson Institute for Race, Peace, and Social Justice at Loyola University of Maryland.
Truly, I want them to be found. I want their families to be made whole and restored. My concern is that we don't have the same type of interest, attention, outlook, commitment When black girls and women go missing,
Whitehead says it goes back to slavery.
white women were put on a pedestal. They were better than, they were perfect. They were what everyone aspired to be and everyone aspired to have. It's the reason why black men and boys were lynched, because they were thought to have whistled at or even spoken to a white woman. It's why when we were down south during Jim Crow, we had to get off the sidewalk and stand in the curb for a white woman to make her way down the block. There's something about white women being lifted up and everyone else being crushed in the process. I think it's a lingering on of what happened during slavery. It's still about the focus on white women. It's about who is beautiful, who is valued, who is important.
It's not just women and girls. The mother of missing Illinois State University graduate student Jelani Day says she isn't arguing Gabby Petito deserves less, but her son deserves more. He went missing August 24th. And then there's the case of 24-year-old geologist Daniel Robinson, who went missing on June 23rd. He was last seen in Arizona. His case is just now gaining media attention.
We're not going to stop. We're going to try to spread the word as far as we can. And I had to find my child.
Whitehead says this is a moment of tension where society can learn and have better outcomes.
That black women and girls are being missed. And if they go online, they can find the names and pictures of hundreds of black girls all over the country and young black women whose families are crying out for them. My hope is that we pay the same type of attention.
To find out more about the disparities, check out the Black and Missing Foundation.
The Black and Missing Foundation, you can check that out. And I would like to shout out Outside Looking In. The sister just came in. She's been supporting me heavily on the second channel. Maz, if you're in the house, drop the link to the second channel as well for those who want to subscribe to the Information Man Speaks podcast as well. We got my man Nappy Yankee that I see as well. We got
was now a person of interest and a suspect. It's a tragic story. Was now a person of interest and a suspect. It's a tragic story, but some people have wondered why we don't see the same nonstop coverage for other missing persons cases, particularly for minorities. I'm joined now by the CEO of the Black and Missing.
So they come up and they talk about how they're not doing what they're supposed to do, right? By covering these black cases, right? But they continue to fail to cover these black cases. I'm kind of lost here.
Missing Foundation, Derica Wilson.
And I was at the time when I originally watched it. Like, this shit's crazy.
To talk about this. Thank you very much. It's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. First, tell us about the foundation and why, sadly, there's a need for an organization like this.
Thank you, Tony, for having us. We started this organization nearly 14 years ago to shine a spotlight on missing persons of color, because quite frankly, when you turn your televisions on, we don't see anyone that looks like us. You know, we all know the names of Natalie Holloway, Lacey Peterson, Chandra Levy, but no one knows the names of Deidre Reed, Keisha Jacobs, Unique Harris, none of those names. And so we wanted to even the playing field because these families are desperate. They're hurting.
And you work directly with these families. Do you have a sense of how many families you've worked with on this issue?
We've worked with thousands of families across the United States. And since our inception, we've helped reunite or bring closure to over 400 families. You know, we've come a long way. We still have a long way to go. You know, we have to shout out our Black press, who's helped us spearhead this issue of bringing our cases to the forefront. And, you know, even our local media partners just helping us tell our stories because they're so important. You know, again, our cases are not bubbling up to that mainstream media. So we have to create the message and the stories ourselves.
And we're talking about black young people who go missing, people in general, but particularly young people and girls. Black, brown, Asian American, indigenous people, some startling numbers in those cases, including in Wyoming where all this happened. Why do you think this disparity exists?
Well, when it comes to our Black and brown community, When it comes to children, they're oftentimes classified as runaways. Runaways are not receiving the Amber Alert. There's no sense of urgency to find the missing. When it comes to missing adults, men, women that are Black and brown, their disappearance is associated with some sort of criminal activity, and it's simply desensitized. And so, we're just trying to change that narrative. We need more diversity in the newsroom because the decision makers don't look like us. And we need more diversity on the police forces, specifically in the commander ranking. So we can get sensitivity to these cases, to these families, a sense of urgency. One case that I'm thinking of in particular is Daniel Robinson.
Is part of the reason why these things aren't getting followed through is because we don't have our own people as detectives and police, because, the hood then said that you better not basically be the police, or that became unattractive. But this is one place where we're lacking at, because even politicians, if we have more melanated Black politicians in office, you see what I'm saying? Like, we got to get focused, man, like, period, or we're going to get fucked up even more.
Missing out of Arizona, and law enforcement, they're not spending any time looking for him. There's been no searches on their behalf that has bubbled up to this national attention that Gabby has received. And this is a young man, similar circumstances of his disappearance. He went to work, coworkers last saw him, and he just fell off the face of this earth. So there's a lot of cases out there that are like this. There's a lot of Gabbies in the Black and brown community.
You bring up a very good point. That's why representation is so important in terms of the media, in management circles, in the editorial rooms, all of that. So that hopefully will help correct the problem. I want to just quickly mention, we got to wrap, but you have a hashtag, Aisha Alert. What is that, very quickly?
The Aisha Alert?
Yes.
That is the young lady that went missing from the military base a few years back. And that alert is happening because anyone that's going missing right now, these families are creating their own hashtags. They're creating their own flyers to get these stories out there because mainstream media is not bubbling up. Our hashtag is help us find us.
Information is power.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what I did, I disconnected a couple of things. I see I got my brother Sanchez in there who's asking me if I'm opening up the lines. So what I did, because I wasn't expecting to open up the lines tonight, what I did, let me wipe my nose there. I've got something on my nose that's bothering my nose. Sorry about that, folks. Thank you for hanging in there. I'm going to open up my phone line. It's going to be how do we say? It's going to be a phone call situation. And what I'm going to do, how do I do this? Nope, not right there. But I want it right. Nope, don't want it right there. And I don't want it right there. Hang on, folks. I got some couple little boo-boos I did right here. And there we go. Put that back up there like so. And all right. I think this will do the trick for me. There we go. There goes the phone number right there. So hopefully this thing will it'll work just fine. So I'm hosting
Oh, big facts, big facts. I'm mad that, like, I don't think my Kanika Jenkins, most of them are not up on channels that are active or available right now, but I had a lot of videos, just like I went ham in the Malia Davis situation, the little girl that allegedly was kidnapped and then come to find out, like, we really didn't even get no answers for that case, but I went hard in that case too, but again, I lost the channel. They don't like, some of the things that I was talking about back then.
All right. Access code is 571128 605 313 5658. It's a conference call, so I can have multiple people on at the same time. Just be respectful. I think Brother Sanchez wants to call in, so dial that number up, brother. While I'm still up here, I want to hear what you have to say. And anybody who wants to call in, that's the number right there, 605-313-5658. Access code is 571128. Access code is 571128. Once again, it's in the right corner just above my head. Let me see if there's anybody that's on right now. Okay, we're waiting to see if anybody wants to come in and join. So let me see here. Let me look in the chat and see what people are saying. See what we have here. 4 in the house. Okay, who do we have there?
This is Brother Sanchez speaking.
All right, brother. I saw your message in the chat room, and I just kind of threw it. I cut something else off that I was bringing music through, and because I didn't even have it set up for this tonight, but I set it up especially for you and anybody else that wants to call in. Brother, renting your voice. How are you doing, by the way? It's good to hear you, brother.
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for opening it up for me. I think this is a great topic that you're having.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I wanted to add something to coming from background.
Okay.
I was hearing these sisters speak from the news article, and a lot of things she said is spot on. And her cause and her organization is well needed, and I'm actually proud that that exists. But I got to give black people the harsh thing that probably ain't nobody else going to say, and I hate to do it to them, but you know what? White folks ain't going to help us, because this is how it goes. I see white girls go missing, white boys go missing, and you know how they're found? If they're found, it's not because of law enforcement. It ain't got nothing to do with the police and none of that. You know what happened? The community actually get out there and search the woods and all that. You got old white men, old white men that ain't done nothing in years, getting up, putting on the outdoor suit, saying, "I'm going on the search, honey. I'm going to help with the search." Everybody and their mama getting involved out there with the search.
You're right.
And and as far as the media coverage, all of the white people that's of any influence that's so-called hip to what's going on, they're speaking on that white girl being missing. Whereas you would have the black influencers and politicians not saying nothing about the black children that go missing because they too busy buck dancing and selling whatever agenda.
Oops. Oh my God, I lost him. Let me turn this back on. I lost my man. Let me see here. Let me turn this back on. I think I hit the button by accident. Sanchez, call back in. It was an accident, brother. Nothing wrong with the connection. It was just I hit the button, made a mistake there. Call back in, Sanchez. So call back in.
Welcome.
Brother Sanchez, call back in and continue what you were saying. I hit the wrong button on my phone. I shouldn't even been playing around with it. Go right ahead and call right back in, brother. Call right back in. We got to finish hearing. The people need to finish hearing what you are about to and what you are saying. So you've got to call back in. You've got no choice. Call back in, Sanchez. The number is 605-313-5658. Access code 571128. Okay. I'm sorry about that, brother. Some kind of way I hit the wrong button on my phone. Go right ahead, brother. Continue with what you were saying. Sorry about that. Not going to happen again.
No problem at all. No problem. Yeah, I was just saying, the harsh thing about it is that is never a police effort or is never a effort from any state organization or federal. It's always the community. When these people go missing, because the police department got a certain time where they can search, and after that they got to go home. And the city ain't gonna be paying all of this personnel every day to scan no woods. I hate to tell black folks this, but recovery is like the last thing on the priority list in law enforcement. Meaning that if somebody
go right ahead,
you
brother.
still with me?
Yeah, I'm still with you. Go right ahead.
That's to say that if you have a missing motorcycle or a missing car, the police ain't gonna break their neck looking for it. They'll tell you, okay, we'll keep an eye out for it. And if it come across their eyesight when they going about their normal duties, then yeah. But there ain't nobody going out there putting a whole team in motion to investigate the search for your motorcycle. It's gone. And that's just the nature of law enforcement. They don't spend a lot of time in recovery. That's why you have the community coming out like that when these white girls is missing and stuff like that, because they know that. I don't think black folks really grasp that, which is why we think, we need to get more black people in the police department. That ain't gonna do nothing. Even if you get a black police chief, it ain't, the city is not spending that much money. You got, for you to go and scan an area, you know how much personnel that takes, and that's just one area. That's half of your force. How long they gonna scan it? Because the clock tick and everybody getting paid, which is why recovery is just not a good deal. And like if you got a missing child, it's always a bad thing because recovery is just the last on the totem pole with law enforcement.
So for example, with this Gavi Patella case, they did not find her alive, but they eventually, Brother Sanchez, found her body. And that goes into what you just said, is that white people, white men in particular, they're willing to get out there in the woods and comb the area. And you're right. Every time you see white people go missing, you do tend to see more white people, particularly the white men, who are willing to go out there in the woods and comb the area for days and for days and for days. Whereas when black people go missing, as you've heard tonight, we do tend to rely heavily on law enforcement, which, I mean, quite obviously, we think that, well, they should be able to get involved and help, but we do tend to rely heavily on law enforcement. Whereas, and in the case of Daniel Robinson, his father had to hire volunteers because he wasn't getting anywhere with law enforcement. But you're right, white people, they'll have the whole community out there. They'll have law enforcement, the community. They'll have everybody and the mama in the kitchen sink out there looking for their loved ones. You make a very compelling point, brother.
And in some of the cases, you would have like the sergeants and deputies and all them showing up after work, off-duty work, continuing the search.
Right. So the question,
you see what I'm saying?
Right. So Brother Sanchez, are you saying, and we just got to, this is just real conversation. Are you saying, are you making the inference that maybe black people, when we go missing, we don't have enough black people out there combing these nicks and crannies at the level that white people will comb those nicks and crannies, such as the way they'll go into the woods, they'll go everywhere. Not to say that black people don't get groups of people to look for someone who's missing, but do they do it at the same level? And what's happening on YouTube and social media speaks to what you're saying, because if you look at most of the videos on YouTube, even black content creators, and it's not an indictment on them at all, but even black content creators have been sort of taken by this whole case to the point that they are spending time focusing on it because it has this element of the why did he do it? Where is he at? We got to find him. He's in the woods roughing it. I get that. So it has a certain mysteriousness to it. But when it comes to black people, not the same mysteriousness to it as necessary. We usually will talk about the big cases, like we got Kelly Price and that whole situation, right? She went missing. A lot of us are talking about her because she's a celebrity, a singer, R&B, gospel, the whole 9 yards. But when it comes to someone who doesn't really have that big name, it's sort of like, okay, I hope they find him. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. And when you asked about, do we do it at the rate that whites do it? Not at all. Can't even compare it. Because I'm telling you, when a white girl go missing, you got teens on ATVs. You got the old white dudes with the dogs. You got, I'm talking about, it's like they've been training for this shit or something. Everybody spread out, perfectly distanced, going, know how to work. It's like, damn, y'all been training for this shit. I'm telling you, I can pull up videos, community searches and stuff. Even if you watch Forensic Files, you'll see what I'm talking about when these white girls go missing, how the white community respond very quick, organized, and they putting down whatever they doing at the moment. If I'm going on vacation tomorrow, I'm not going now because my people got a search to do. This is how serious they is about it. And I just don't think, we at that level yet. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you the controversial question then, my brother. What's wrong with us? What is wrong with our people? And I'm not trying to put an indictment on all black people, because there's certainly black people out there that have been out there beating the pavement, that have organizations who are coming on television saying, hey, you're not doing enough to recognize that black females are going missing, black men are going missing, and black children. But what do you think is going to change? Because everything changes when it happens to you. And when it happens to you and your family, then you got a whole different outlook. But what do you think is going to do? Black people, I don't like playing the blame game here, but are black people, are we getting too lazy with lack of urgency? And and the very people that we will say are racist and they're white supremacists and we don't like cops and we don't like A, B, and C, when something happens, then we turn around and we expect them to have our backs in these situations, when at the same time we say, well, they don't want us anyway. They want us to kind of die. So it's kind of a catch-22, don't you think?
It exactly is. That's like, I will even get called a coon for some of the stuff I'm saying right now, even though you and I know it's true. And it's just that we saying it because it's to show us what we need to work on. And I think one of our problems is reliant too. We've become so reliant on the oppressor that we complain about, just like you said, that that's our response for this kind of stuff. You don't hear about white people saying, well, this person don't get enough coverage or that much coverage. And we think it's because mainstream media is favoring them, but a closed mouth don't get fed in corporate America, in the media world. There are black people who work for all of these mainstream platforms. Al Sharpton worked with MSNBC. He showed up at the Haitian border and had cameras there. Why ain't he never showing up when these children go missing? You see what I'm saying? It's always something.
That's a very, very, brother, you just knocked the lid off the soda pop bottle. That's a very, very important statement. I want you to repeat that again, because you're right. He showed up for the Haitian situation over there in Del Rio, Texas, but you notice he shows up when there's cameras around. I want you to repeat what you said again for everyone to hear that. Say that again, Brother Sanchez.
Yeah, and all of these mainstream media corporations, there are bougie, uppity niggas that's in high places like Al Sharpton at MSNBC who can snap his finger and have the cameras there. We know it, but if it ain't nothing divisive and it ain't no big story, he ain't gonna do it. These missing girls that ain't recovered ain't a big story. It only becomes a big story when they recover them. Then they say, the missing girl that was gone missing 9 months ago, she's been recovered, and that breaks it big. But if they would have never found her, we wouldn't even know she was missing. We get the story, it's like, what girl was missing? Who is that? And you know what I'm saying? But that's right. People like Al Sharpton to show up for border events and they never doing no domestic work in the community, in the hood, nothing like that. Is always at the border or something that's mainstream, like you were saying, right? These folks are in key positions, Info Man, to raise awareness on the missing black children. What are they there for? What did they get in these big positions for to not lift their voice?
That's right. That's right. Wow. You know, one of the reasons why. Who else do we have on the line with us?
This is DOD.
Hey, what's going on, DOD? I'm glad that you called in, brother. We got Brother Sanchez on the line with you. Much respect to you, DOD, and thank you for all the support on the channel, both channels, brother, really. And I want to thank everybody in the chat room as well. This is DOD that's on, brother. Go right ahead and say whatever you want to add to the discussion, brother.
Well, first off, I want to say thank you very much, Information Man, for this show, for all that you do here on YouTube, and you do great work. You put a lot of time and effort in what you do.
Thank you.
You have a lot of great people in the chat, so
yes,
I want to thank you for that.
Very great people in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah. I kind of disagree with Brother Sanchez there.
Okay.
And respect to you, Brother Sanchez. I've checked you out too on your channels before, so you know, peace to you too, brother.
Okay.
What I disagree with is that the fact that you're saying that black people don't go out and surge and all of this thing. That's true.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying not to the degree of others.
Well, the reason why is because we're not getting the coverage. These white people that you say go out and search for these white girls or white women or whatever, they wouldn't know that they were missing if it wasn't for the media coverage that they get.
That's not the case.
That's very much the case. How would they know they're missing? Brother, let me finish here. How would they know they're missing?
You're not accurate.
Let's do this. Wait a minute. Let's do this. Let's have each brother, because this is like a debate. Let's have each brother say what they have to say, and then we have a brother give a rebuttal. We'll be respectful here. Let's go. DOD. Finish what you were saying. Finish what you were saying, DOD, and then I want Brother Sanchez to rebut anything that he disagrees with what you said or what you're characterizing that he was saying. So go right ahead, DOD. Finish with what you were saying.
Okay. So so what I'm saying is that if it was not for the media coverage, even white people wouldn't know that white people are missing. The only reason why they go out with all these resources and, as you say, old white men going out searching and all this is because it's put out into the media first. It blows up through the media first, and then they go out and search. We don't get that type of coverage, so we don't know a lot of these people a lot of our black people that are missing, our women, our girls, our young boys and men. We don't know because there's no media coverage out there. So that's the reason why we don't do as you say a statewide or nationwide search because we don't know that they're missing. If the media blew it up like they blew up like white girls and they go missing, then of course then I can understand you saying that, but we don't get that coverage, brother.
Okay, let's go. Good points, DOD. Good points. You're right. We don't. That was the whole reason why I did this stream. We don't get the coverage. But Brother Sanchez, go ahead and give your rebut or whatever you want to say, brother, in response to DOD.
Yeah, I'll give you a case in Arizona. There was a white girl that went missing in Tucson, Arizona. And it never made big media. It was a case I watched on Forensic Files. A lot of what I was saying, I watch a lot of Forensic Files and investigative criminal justice stuff. I took up criminal justice, community college of the Air Force. What I was saying, I'm going to give you a particular case in Arizona, right? There was a white girl went missing, and it never made big media. Because when the parents spout out in the community right there, because remember, these children is going missing on somebody's street corner, on the block, with neighbors, with black people. Why? It shouldn't be a nationwide search if she just missing in the hood right here. The only way to do that is if she been missing for a while, and now we know she could have covered distance. That's how we look at it in law enforcement. But the thing is this: if in the case of Arizona, white girl went missing for a few hours, the small community was in fucking uproar. That small community was in uproar to the point where the sheriffs, all of them went out and they ended up finding her body. Of course, they didn't find her alive, but it never really made mainstream media because it was resolved with the community. So what I'm saying, if a black girl go missing right there, we all know, okay, we live in the black persons in our communities or whatever, we know the surrounding areas and et cetera. If she go missing and we find out within a decent amount of time and the community respond, like I saw in Arizona, you will find a dead or alive because you ain't giving the perpetrator enough time to hide stuff, get rid of stuff, traverse distances and all of that stuff. So the quicker the community is on it and respond to it, the better. I'm not saying black communities don't do it, but I was just making a joke that I've seen in a lot of these cases where the white communities look like they've been training for this shit or something, you know. But that just comes from being outdoorsmen as well, too. You got a lot of white guys that love to be outdoors in the woods, searching for, this is a thrill, fun to them, you know, anyway. But that's what the point that I was making is that it should never make it to mainstream if we're handling as a community. In fact, if a little girl come up missing, I really don't want the police to get involved, and I don't really want the media coverage.
The reason why that won't happen, Panther, is because people don't tune into it. You know what I'm saying? Period.
My ideal example of justice would be that entire community of men. We riding out. We got an APB out. We can do this better than the police. I know because I was a cop, and they don't really care about this kind of shit. They don't put a lot of effort in this kind of stuff. But I know a community of men out there searching who got daughters too. If they catch whoever perpetrated this girl, he getting more than a smack on the wrist. Because I'm going to tell you, once they turn him in, whoever's perpetrated, once they're brought to justice, it's oftentimes a smack on the wrist, man, for some of these crazy cases. I'm talking about kidnapping and all. If it ain't no murder involved, he liable to see the sun again in his lifetime. But I'm just saying, I think...
Let me ask you this, that town in Arizona that you spoke of, what was the population? Because you said the sheriff got involved. I'm quite sure it was a small town.
Tucson ain't really that big, but it's a small little booming town. You're right.
Everybody in that community knows everybody, the sheriff, everybody. So it makes sense that they would go out in black people community too. Everybody know everybody in the hood. Yeah, but not when you can get the sheriff involved, though.
Yes, I am.
That's why I said we got to get the brothers involved. That's why I'm saying we got to do that. My thing is we got to do it, my brother, as a community.
So
you know, I fully agree with you on that. I fully agree with you on that, brother Sanchez.
So basically, let me step in. Let me step in and say this. So in a nutshell, both of you are right at the end of the day. And DOD is right that there's no media coverage for black people. I've displayed that on the show tonight. There's no real media coverage. There's no nothing. And I said tonight that David Robinson, the father of Daniel Robinson, who went missing, a geologist, said that he had to go and hire, or I don't know if he hired, but he had to assemble a team of people that are trying to still find his son. Because the police are not doing the job. And I think that's where Brother Sanchez is right, that the police, they don't really have the fortitude for this sort of stuff. It really takes the community to do it. So we as black men in particular, as a black community, when a young lady, a young man goes missing or anybody goes missing, we have to be willing to roll up our sleeves and get out there in the element and be willing to put the same kind of energy in, because we already know that the odds are against us, that the media is not going to really cover our stories. So we have to be our best police for our community. We have to be our best community. We have to be the soldiers of our community, should I say that? So and a lot of things that you brothers are saying tonight, actually, we need all of it. We need all of those elements somehow or another, because like I said earlier tonight, 1.6 million people, they just loved watching and analyzing this Gabby Patola situation. When it comes to black folks, it's kind of like, okay, another black person is missing. Okay, you know, okay, turn the page, right? So I want to thank both of you brothers for coming on tonight. Any other words either one of you want to say?
Well, I just want to say, again, I want to thank you for the information that you're putting out tonight. This topic it's something that we need to speak more about. And to Brother Sanchez, brother, no disrespect to you or anything like that. Like I said, I'm very familiar with your channel and what you've done here on YouTube. So big respect to you, brother.
Well, much respect to you, my brother. It was good building for you. I agree with what you were saying. One thing I want to add is you're right. We don't get mainstream media coverage. It's because the blacks who are in the mainstream got an apple in their mouth, as Kwame Brown said. But then again, I'm going to ask this question before I get out of here, information, man, just to throw a little controversy to the chat room, wake them up, give them a little fun. Can black people complain about media coverage if we're the most viral in social media?
Wow, that's pretty deep. If we are the most viral, can we complain about it? Are you trying to say, Brother Sanchez, that instead of waiting on the media to report the story, we got to be the ones that are reporting the story? We got to be that media, because I don't know if you came on a little late tonight, but there's a case by the name of a brother by the name of Tyrese Gibson in Texas. And there's been some mysterious things around his case. He went missing. They can't find his body. You've got other youth that were involved in some shady things with him. And the mother thinks that they are responsible, but they're not arrested. I think they got one person. And I'm waiting for someone that I know on YouTube who's going to give me a contact with her, because I'm going to bring her on by using my platform to be able to talk about the situation that happened to her son, to get the word out. Because from what I understand, the media down there in Texas and nationally is not talking about it. There's very little attention being paid to what happened to her son, what's happening. And so when you say we go viral, but we're not using it, I think that we should all use these kind of platforms, airways, podcasts, whatever we got, to get the word out, and not just wait on mainstream media, because we already know what their deal is with mainstream media. I'm going to stop right there.
Last thing, and I'm out. Last thing, I appreciate this info, man. You right. Listen, I'm going to give you a prime example. In this day we in, you got people like Tasha K breaking stories before the mainstream media. She will break a story and then they break it later and ask her, the FBI and shit, calling her like, how the hell you breaking it before us? So we literally in that time now where you may break the story before the mainstream do. That happens a lot today. And that proves what you're saying, that we don't get mainstream coverage. So some small YouTuber break it. Now mainstream got to deal with it now. So yeah, but appreciate this. This was an awesome deal.
Folks, I'm reconnecting my system right now. Just give me a minute. This, ladies and gentlemen, is that, yeah, white people will get out there and they'll search. Doesn't mean that black people don't search either, but this is the difference. White people will get out there and they'll search for each other, and on top of searching for each other.
I've seen cases where people were out there searching that were melanated, definitely. I don't know about that part.
This is what I should have said when they both were up here. On top of searching, they get the media coverage on top of their searching. Black people, we will search, but we don't get the media coverage along with. And I think the reason why,
in most cases, he's correct. Yes.
White people tend to have more success at finding missing people in their community, because they not only are they willing to go out there in the streets and look for missing people, and black people do this too, but they get the media coverage, and that's the equalizer that black people don't get. Let me test my music here and see if this is working. All right.
That is where he ends that live stream right there. I'm going to end this live as well. I got some other things I got to do really quick, but I think that we do need to talk about this, obviously, more in reality, but people need to pull up for it. People need to be out here supporting it, because, like, I just don't know. Like, some situations or whatever, you know what I mean? I see a selective outrage, you know what I mean? And then in reality, like, when these things are pointed out to people, they're not clicking in. I, for one, am, as a content creator, will tell you that I've seen that. Unless it's, you know, plastered all over mainstream media, and that's unfortunate. But I've also seen cases where people that are melanated are going and looking for those that are melanated, or they're concerned, they're protesting, whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? But I ultimately think that his show was great. I thought it was bomb that he pulled up with statistics and stuff like that. We do need to keep an eye on this, because if this was any other race, it would definitely be, you know, pushed out there more. But we have to take care of our own, because if we don't, who is? You know what I mean? Now, I do apologize, because normally I do drop the link so people can come up, but I won't be doing that today. I'm going to continue to look into things, and like I said, Markeith Loyd's trial starts tomorrow. I do, however, want to talk about the Tyrese Gibson situation, not the singer, but one of the victims, people that's missing, victim, in the video that we just looked at least. But I'm going to have to, you know, find some information and stuff like that, and get that out. But I'm not, don't judge me. But I've been waiting on this Markeith Loyd situation, so depending on what I can find in that, and I know that that's probably going to be like 9 times out of 10 publicized, because I've already covered one of his trials, and that was highly publicized as well. But I've invested a lot in that situation, so if it kind of gets moved down the line, I will be talking about the Tyrese Gibson situation. I'm aware that the information man is in connection with somebody in the family in that case, and he will be interviewing them, and possibly they may be over here. So I do care about this case. I do care about these situations. I want you guys to know that. But I'm only one person. Like, I wish I had a team or whatever all the time, you know what I mean? But I will continue to look into it. If you guys find any, you know, case or whatever you want me to take a look at or whatever, make sure that you email me at queensthrone9@gmail.com. Also, if you're trying to get that free book that Enki is giving away, I got it. Also, hit me up. Just message me about the free book. If you are watching this from Rabbit's Got the Gun, or you won like CMOS, right? Because Enki asked people to timestamp the 11-hour live stream, and people actually did it. I have forwarded over your guys' addresses to him, so he is in charge of getting that out, obviously. But I did start sending out the first set of rabbit ears today. So the winner in that, I had it somewhere, but I don't have it in front of me. But I'm sure that all the winners will do something, you know what I mean, for them. Let them know that we appreciate them and stuff like that. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. We don't want to just take from the community. We do want to give back. So even if it is like some CMOS, some rabbit ears or whatever, just know that, you know, we try, or a book, you know what I mean? We're trying to come from a different place. We can't just be asking for your support and not really giving you anything in return. And I think ultimately, if we start there and we also, you know, respect those in the community, right? Especially when somebody in the community that's not online needs us and they don't even know that they need us, right? Because they're being ignored by mainstream media. That's when we need to step in. Again, I've covered several cases. Check out my 4 channels that nobody, or, you know, just a very little bit of people had looked into as far as content creators. But I do enjoy looking into crime. It's unfortunate that it happens, but I don't know. I think that, like, in another life, I was supposed to be a crime scene analyst or something like that. But much love, you guys. I do plan on being back tomorrow with something. Hopefully the Markeith Loyd thing. I might sprinkle in some Tyrese Gibson as well. I think that would be fair, depending on how long, you know, they're starting the trial. So they're going through jury selection. It starts tomorrow. So just depending on how lengthy that is or whatever. However, we do sometimes speed up the speed of the video during trials, so we're not, because sometimes they go for like 9 hours, and I don't know if y'all got that to do. Sometimes I don't. So, you know, by speeding up the audio, you can kind of cut that in half a little bit, which is definitely more reasonable. But we do kind of fast forward through the breaks and all that, so it won't be that bad. And we cap on people in the courtroom, but we also pay attention to what is going on. You got to kind of make some comedy out of something. So, like, if the person on the stand or whatever, you know what I mean, look funny, we might, you know, say a little couple of things or whatever. But, you know, just for entertainment purposes. But ultimately, we do care about all of these cases. I want to find out what happens to Markeith Loyd. If you don't know, I covered Markeith Loyd earlier trial because he has 2, because he killed his baby mother as well as his unborn child, and that was in her stomach, and then he attempted to kill his baby mama's brother. So a woman, a child, and then a man almost lost their life, and then he went on the run. He was, you know, found or whatever. The one police officer was about to, you know, apprehend him or whatever, and then that's when ultimately the police officer lost her life. You know, and it is important. I know some people don't care about, you know, police losing their life or whatever, but this was a melanated sister, and I just got done saying that we have to be more involved in all facets of the community, even detectives, police officers, politicians. I'm saying, like, that's the only way that things are going to change, because if these people that are running it now are avoiding all these topics and situations that need to be dealt with, then we have to step up. So I'm calling people, you know what I mean, looking at them weird because they want to go to school to be an attorney or be the police or whatever they want to do. Allow them to do that, because we need our own people up there to fight for us. That's the only way that we're going to get through this. I do apologize about the sunglasses, but I'm trying to work on it, because blue light is really bad for you. And I look at a lot of blue light, even though my glasses are blue, but it is different. But yeah, so I might be doing that a little bit more, because my eyes be getting dry when I'm live for a long time. So I don't mean to, like, you know, hide my identity. It's not a disguise or nothing, but I don't know, like, it just be bothering me. And I wear contacts, so having dry eyes with contacts is a bad look. So we're going to try this. Maybe this will help. The doc told me about this. Shout out to Dr. Enki. He's also live, so I'm going to tap in over there. You guys make sure that you head over to the Rabbits Got the Gun TV and subscribe. Okay. Also, tune in on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern for a show every Saturday about what's going on in the YouTube community. There's a lot of topics out there, so we will really never run out of anything. That was a tongue twister right there. But anyway, head over to Dr. Enki or Rabbits Got the Gun TV. He's live right now, and you can continue to find out what's going on. He bringing something with Taharka, I swear. I don't know. But much love, you guys. Bye-bye. I was going to play some music, but I'm just going to get out of here. Much love. See you guys tomorrow.